dude. I mean, you can sit there in Central Michigan and do whatever you need to do, but I mean, if it's it's really about golf to you, then you should probably just not. I gotta go. Yeah, fine. Hey guys, what up? It's your boy JG. I am the publisher / Commodore at auburnsports.com. Tonight I will be your host, your emissary, your representative, your YouTube representative as all things Auburn come to the forefront tonight. As the Auburn Tigers take on the hated Arkansas Razorbacks for a showdown inside Nevilla Arena. John Calipari, who was personally responsible or who was at the helm at University of Kentucky when Auburn commandeered or stole the title to Kentucky basketball during the 2019 NCAA tournament. Auburn stole the deed to Auburn basketball and has not given it back. Auburn broke John Calipari, and I would argue that Auburn broke Kentucky basketball. Really with that game and things that have happened since then. But, we pour one out all the time for, the bygone era blue bloods like Kentucky. And we toast, of course, to the new blue blood, the Auburn Tigers, who are number one in the country, who have been number one in the country, and whose claim to that top spot in all of college basketball is undisputed after that win in Coleman Coliseum last weekend, I should say, which was a summarily, I can't think of the right words. It was a big win. And it was a terrific defensive performance, particularly in the first half, which is some of the best defense we have ever seen Auburn play ever. Like you go back to the 1920s when Auburn had that big scandal where they literally put the peach basket that was too small for University of Georgia and Sewanee to play there. They couldn't even get the ball through the peach basket, and the defense was better last weekend than that. This game is going to be on ESPN. We're still watching the final stages of the NC State North Carolina beatdown. We do have a super chat coming through from my man Feel Like a Stranger, whose support for our channel is unwavering and whose greatness we can't even encapsulate into words. He says, word up, much love, trainers, Swoogans and Tates. Let's beat Cal's SSSSS. Chain gang rise up. By the way, Feel Like a Stranger, this may apply to you or it may not. We will have a bourbon blend tomorrow. That is the bourbon show that I do with my wife, which usually goes on Thursdays. I had to evacuate. No, I had to leave my mom's house because we sold it. My mom passed away in April. I wasn't going to leave her in there. We sold it, and then we lost our studio because that's where we did our show. Well, guess what? We have a new studio and a new location, and we're going to be bringing the show back tomorrow night. So if you guys are into the bourbon blend, I know some of the folks around here are. Please consider jumping on our show at 8 o'clock Central here on the YouTubes on our Bourbon Blend channel. You can type in the Bourbon Blend on YouTube, and you see me and Cordy there. And that's the situation. Spicy Pieces, LOL, is the peach basket story real? It may have been real, although the story that I just told is apocryphal only. However, it could have been real. I was not there to disprove it. Philip Marshall probably was. He was the editor of the Auburn Times, we'll call it at the time. And he was on the peach basket. He actually was an expert in all peach basket fabrication. He was like the fabrication beat writer for the Auburn Times. And that was in the middle of his career. Anyway, we have a lot of legends here in the chat tonight. I can't even start to get the Spicy Peas here with us. Yabo, Dark Side, Chip is with us. AU256 coming in live from Madison, Alabama. Tim the Toolman Taylor, who's one of our Bourbon Blend legends, also a legend here, I should say. Hopefully we get a little bit of him tomorrow night. Frank G was with us. I believe he was the first one to jump in the show. Of course, Feel Like a Stranger. Brian P., Ravin, the GOAT, and GW, who I don't even think has made fun of the Raiders yet. Leighton's with us as well. What up, G? So glad to have you guys. Yo, Malcolm is here as well. Exciting. Bruce Pearl's All the Data You Need. Wow, this is a great group. I always say it's the best basketball chat on the entire internet is right here on the Brain Drain. Let me bounce over to our main page here and take a gander at these Arkansas stats. Some numbers that I think are worth your consideration would involve their three-point shooting, which you can see there is 33.8%, which is 174. That's like in the 50 percentile of the entire country. And in an SEC context, that is among the worst. So here's the thing. Arkansas has players. Arkansas has drivers. Arkansas has athletes. Arkansas does not have three-point shooters. And what happens is when you have a team that doesn't have three-point shooting, it makes it very difficult to space the floor. And literally there's games where you watch Arkansas play and they're just clumped up because they can't shoot deep. And so they want to drive and they want to take mid-rangers. Or they want to try to get to the hole, and it's congested. They're 7'2", big. It's probably their best three-point shooter, and that's a weird thing to say. But I think Ivisic, I'm not sure. Bruce Pro is all the data you need. Says easily the best basketball chat anywhere. I completely agree with that, and I appreciate you saying that. You're an important part of it too. I did notice that on the SEC availability chart, I guess you would call it, that they removed Chad Baker-Mazara, meaning he's full go tonight. Now, I've told you guys during the last week or so, BP keeps kind of perpetuating this, what I consider to be a myth, that Chad's hurt. I don't think Chad's hurt. There's no reason for me to think he's hurt. So I'm not surprised at all that he would be available tonight because I had 0% chance that he was not going to be available. Okra in the house. Hey, JG and all the Auburn fam. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's get another W. Yeah, that's the thing about tonight, right? Get the huge win against Alabama on the weekend. I mean, massive win. And you want to make sure, because Arkansas is not quite as good, you got to make sure that you bring that effort and that enthusiasm and that zeal to the floor tonight. You got to think a little bit about how you defend Arkansas. You're not going to have to do a lot of perimeter working, so you're going to have to be careful about getting in front of drivers. This is something that's been a little bit of a problem. Ole Miss did some of that. They have some very accomplished drivers, and they were successful. Alabama typically does, but weren't able to get much done because their three-point shooting was so poor in that game. And, in fact, I would argue that Auburn's perimeter defense was really good. And, yeah, when you've got DJ Wagner, I'm a huge fan of DJ Wagner. His dad, Milt Wagner, used to be an assistant here under Tony Barbie. Well, I should say that his granddad. Excuse me. His dad is DeJuan Wagner. My bad on that. The gears get away from me, guys. I've told you guys before, I was a Louisville fan when I was... Well, I don't understand. I was a Louisville fan growing up because my parents were Louisville graduates, and so I kind of idolized Milt Wagner and Purvis Ellison and those guys. The Bradford Smith, DeJuan Wheat. It was weird kind of getting to know him. Anywho, looks like we got Jay Williams tonight. Let me see who our referees are going to be, our officials, some would say. The SEC gets very protective about letting people like me and you know who the officials are way ahead of time. I'm not sure why. The officials are Doug Shows, Burdett, and Steven Anderson. So Shows is a longtime guy, and he's a good one. GW says, I hear the Raiders hired Tony Barbie as a talent scout. Boo this man. Boo this man. By the way, Bruce Pearl's All the Data You Need was saying Pat Adams was terrorizing Rupp. Kentucky got a big win over Vanderbilt tonight. So that was good for UK to kind of stay in the race for fifth. I'm sitting here talking all this junk, and, of course, Auburn's got to go to Kentucky in a couple weeks, but whatever. I mean, and that might be the first time that Auburn goes there because in the NCAA tournament, Auburn's going to probably, considering they're going to be a number one seed, barring some kind of catastrophic failure, they're going to be playing in Lexington or Raleigh in the first round and Atlanta in the regionals, in the regional finals. So Auburn might be back in Lexington before long. Janai kind of bouncing around before this game. Looks healthy and happy. They're going to start SEMO in this game. But maybe they kind of like bringing Chad off the bench a little bit here. He did that last year, and he liked it. And so we'll see how things go here. Arkansas, a decent defensive team. Actually, good defensive team, but offensively they have trouble because they can't shoot very well. And we're going to be getting some updates. Hopefully, Bruce Pearl's all the data you need. We'll be getting us updates on the Alabama at Missouri game tonight. The Tide in Columbia in a game that I suspect is going to be difficult for them. Not predicting who's going to win or lose, but I think Alabama's going to have to really fight to win that one. Janai with an 80%er. Off an incisive pass from the point from Dylan effin' Cardwell. Super chat coming through from one of our East Coast czars, the man himself, Blake R. Says, JGT, really hate I missed the drain over the weekend, but the damn flu rode me, and I couldn't even fully enjoy my Valentine's Day. That sucks because I knew you had a week off, and I was hoping that you were out living your best life, and here you are, you say you got the flu. Couldn't enjoy the awesomeness of that ass whooping, which is exactly what it was. I'm much better now and back tonight. Let's get a clap for my man right there. Appreciate you, Blake. And also, I don't know if you were on earlier, but the Bourbon Blend will be back tomorrow night. I know you catch us sometimes when you're able to. Me and Cordy will be back tomorrow night. We've got the new setup ready to go. It looks a whole lot like the old setup, honestly. I'm not sure you guys would even be able to tell the difference, but we are at a new spot, and we will be ready to go. Got some new bourbon for you. Denver got a little space there and splashed one home, so the Auburn Tigers doing their thing here early. Now, that's an open three right there for Arkansas. He missed it. Nice defensive rebound for Janai Broom. Denver. Oh, my God. He took a heat check, and he didn't touch anything. Arkansas with a rare three-pointer there. Auburn being a little lax with the perimeter defense so far, I think for scouting reasons. Now we got a turnover there. Looked like Miles might have been the offending party. This is where Arkansas is good, though. If they get out in transition and they can kind of whittle their way toward the bucket, they're pretty good at that. You want to try to, again, as BP likes to say, build a wall, and you've got to repel. Simo with a bad pass there. You've got to repel those drives. It's another wide open three that Auburn's, to me, I think that's a choice. They're kind of letting those shots go. Holy shit, man. Back-to-back turnovers where the receiver wasn't even looking at the ball. Wow. You probably don't see one of those a game from Auburn. Now you've seen them in back-to-back possessions. Goodness. That was yucky. Just very lackadaisical. Boy, Auburn, Arkansas is really hustling to get out open right now. All right, their 7'2" guy just took a three. So I think Arkansas is 1 of 4 from three right now, which is pretty much right on par. Yeah, 1 of 4. Oh, my goodness. Denver just juked that guy out of his jock, but the center was ready. Eyes up, but that center is able to swat that ball. Interesting drive from Miles. He was off balance, but he was able to finish it because he's kind of an acrobat. He's a terrific driver, terrific shooter. He's been a really nice addition, and he's catching on here a little bit more as the season goes on. Mike 7677 asks a great question. Suggest a decent bourbon readily available or accessible at ABC for me to celebrate the return of the blah, 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 blah blend. My choice there would probably be Wild Turkey Rare Breed. And I'll tell you what, if you're able to find it, I will have it ready for me on the show tomorrow because I have a bottle, of course. I always have a bottle around. And we can drink that together. So, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, almost always in an ABC store. If it's not there, it's not because it wasn't allocated. It's because, oh, my God, what a pass from Janai. Oh, my goodness. That was tasty. Oh, my goodness. That was like a Cinnabon right there. Just yum, yum, yum. What an absolute, that was a heat seeker pass that went right by two people's heads, right into the hands. Oh, my God. It's amazing. Boy, Arkansas' shooting percentage is not looking tasty right now. Not at all. I don't think they've had a second chance opportunity yet. Now, I know it's early, but get ready to do our, as Andy would say, it was halfway in on that 3 for Miles. We'll do our who's winning each segment. 5 segments per half. Wow, now that is a finish right there from number 3. My God. That was great. Making the adjustment in the air. Another one of the guys that came over from UK. Denver needs to rotate around. He was wide open, or could have been. 8 on the shot clock. I don't like this shot at all. You got it, though. All right, so Denver's got a little heat to him. I'm going to go ahead and say he's heating up.
He's heating up.
Denver, of course, had a whale of a game against Alabama and ended up being an Oscar Robertson Player of the Week for the nation, which takes into account his scoring and his defense, which caused a little bit of a hubbub on the bunker. We've got a dude, a poster, who likes to equate, and I know this is going to sound crazy to you guys, Denver Jones to Zep Jasper. Very, very odd choice there for a comp, especially now that we know Denver is an absolute assassin shooter. Simo with a 3, man. We give him an on fire anytime he scores.
He's on fire.
Because he scores about 1 bucket a game. Maybe not even that. Nice shot, though. Has such a weird form. Tahad Pettiford Truther says, Simo, he's excited. Fired up. Glad to have you here, Tahad Pettiford Truther. Another nice drive from Arkansas. If you don't build the wall, then he's going to go through. These guys can do that. Janai doing more of the fall-away stuff here lately. I wonder if that's kind of a way that they're adjusting his game a little bit to take some of the pressure off of his ankle. Call Me Biscuit says the drain must have hit the big time. I'm getting ad interruptions. Is that true? Let me work on that here in a second. I think I can turn those off. All right, so I've got 13-15 Auburn. The things that have stuck out to me is that Auburn has looked very calm with the exception of the 2 weird turnovers on the attacking end. But on the defensive end, haven't been great at repelling the drives yet. But we're still seeing, good passing tempo. Look at this. So we're getting our first media timeout at 11:48. That is incredibly late for the first one. That's almost 2 segments right there. Normally you have a stop at 16. You have another one at 11. So since the score's tied, I'm probably just going to say, draw for both. Frank G says Denver not really facilitating, which I think is fair. But he's been kind of, we like him a lot as a rhythm shooter. And when he gets, that pass to Miles Kelly from Janai for the 3 was just a thing of beauty, I tell you. It was beautiful. All right, I'm getting the fresh hot stats. Beppo's not here yet or may not be, but we can still announce it ourselves. We've got hot, fresh stats. And take a look at these bad boys. Yeah, we definitely have two full sections, but I didn't feel like there was. I don't feel like either team has really been better than the other team at any point here. It's been about even. And that's why the score's even. 6 of 12 for the Auburn Tigers, 7 of 14 for them, 0 offensive rebounds for Arkansas, which is good for Auburn. 3 assists and no turnovers for Arkansas. They're very happy about that. I'm a little bit surprised. Auburn with 2 assists and 3 turnovers. 2 of those turnovers for Auburn were just really, really strange ones. They count. It still counts, and I will continue to count them, but they were weird. Ephesians is here with us now. Great to have you here, bro. Says getting in here late. What did I miss? You're not too late. Denver's been shooting well. Miles has been shooting well, and defensively, Arkansas's 1 of 5 from 3, so you're not real worried about that. They're not a great deep shooting team, but they are a good driving team, and that challenges Auburn to, build that wall and have good, be in good position to catch those drives, and then for your backside help to be able to swat or at least be a threat to swat that changes some shots. Hornatius is here with us. He goes by Love the Cats on this show, on this channel. But we love him just the same. He says, sup, folks. My answer to that would be nada, brah. I feel like a stranger says, wait, now you all are complaining the players are getting too many minutes? Some people getting upset with Simo having hit a shot, but also had a weird turnover, I should say. And this just didn't really start the way that I thought it would. I just thought Auburn would be a little bit better at repelling those drives. But we also know that Auburn gets better defensively usually as the game goes on. And now in the in the Alabama game, I thought Auburn was at its best around this time of the game, middle of the first half. Didn't really need any chance to warm up. Wonder what they're discussing here. That ain't much, guys. Is Alabama getting crushed? How's that game going? AU Law 20 says getting beat to the rim for now. That's exactly the way I would put it. That's what's happening, and that's about how long it will last. I strongly suspect Auburn will get this worked out. Hornation says, Jay's hair is giving me the vapors. Oh, boy. That sounds exciting. I'm not even sure I know what that slang term means, but I hope that it means something good, because that would make me happy if I was making you happy. They have now taken a point off of Auburn's total, which upsets me greatly. This may be part of the Doge effort. I'm just kidding. Not making it political. I'm just having fun. Oh, yes. Yabo says Bama will likely get beat because we ate their spirit. Yum, 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 yum. I need a Pac-Man sound. That's what I really need, a Pac-Man sound. All I have are Crazy Climber and Donkey Kong sounds. All right, let's see. We got Tahad in there now. We got Chaney in there now. Chaney, I love it, man. Nice move. Drop. Little flex cut to get into the lane. Tahad sees him quickly, and he finishes the shot. Also got Chad Bacon Lasagna in there. We got, is that an Arkansas timeout? Called by Arkansas? That's interesting. Don Proper Dickin, my man. Says, are we in the Bowman? Hey, Don, I don't know if you've been here since the beginning, but we are going to be good to go for the Bourbon Blend tomorrow night. I know you're someone who frequently or sometimes, or I don't know what the frequency is, but you're with us a lot of times on the Bourbon Blend, and we will be back tomorrow on our Bourbon Blend channel. You know where it's at, 8 o'clock Central. And we got Courtney, of course, going to be on the air. We have changed locations. We will be good to go. Yeah, Stu Pup says another stoppage game is just dragging now. It does happen that way sometimes. I was surprised that the timeout got called there, but it's all good. Hornation says Cheney's shoes are giving me seizures. I was thinking about this at practice yesterday. I'm trying to think. Denver, Miles, and one other person. I think it might be Tahad. I'm not sure. Have the different color shoes where it's like a light orange on one on left and then kind of light blue on the right. Well, if there's three players that have that, deal where it's like orange on the left, blue on the right. Well, who's got orange on the right and blue on the left, right? And it's not like these manufacturers are making an odd or even number of certain blue or lefts, blue left or orange lefts. So is there like a team, maybe like UT Martin or Clemson with a P? Maybe those guys are wearing orange on the right and blue on the left? I don't know. These are the questions that I ask myself when I'm at practice talking to Joe Champy about stuff. Kirk. Love spending time with Joe Champy. We were talking about how Auburn was framing the Florida screens 2 weeks ago now, and what could be learned from that. N says those are the shoes that Tahad gave out. This is true. And I wonder if somewhere else there's an opposite, you know what I mean? A prime, as some would say. Also read something today, this is not basketball related, it's football related, that Prime, a.k.a. Coach Prime, has not gone on a recruiting visit this cycle. Like, isn't that amazing? He don't even recruit. I mean, he recruits, but he doesn't go out. I guess he brings them to campus, as often as they can. And then his lieutenants go out and do his bidding. I mean, all right. That's one way to do it. I guess if you're that big of a personality, but I mean, Nick Saban was a bigger personality. Kirby Smart's a bigger personality. Maybe Lincoln Riley's a bigger personality. They have to go out and do that. It's kind of odd to me. Let's see. Stu Pup says Under Armour selling Auburn mismatches. As a former shoe sales guy, makes me wonder. I got some questions for you, bro, about that shoe industry. I've always had some questions. Oh, I like those little. I don't like that particular one. Of course, that's back when Arkansas was coached by Muss, who took his shirt off to celebrate this one. Goober. It's fun. Let's see. Ephesians says, JJ, who's an Auburn player from any sport in any era that you never got to interview but would love to? Golly. I've been there so long, I feel like I've interviewed everybody. I'll have to think about that one for a minute. I don't feel like I've missed out on anybody, really. I mean, well, that's not true. I've often... Oh, come on, bro. They're saying that block on Cheney from behind wasn't a foul, but then they got karma because they dribbled it out of bounds. But probably Coach Jordan, I would say. Just because I have such respect for him, and I mean, he's like a stud on a different level, right? Like, just the sacrifices that he made for his country, the way he kind of handled his own life, the coaching he did. I don't like these. I'm telling you, I don't like these Janai threes. You guys know how I feel about it. That is a great example of Auburn not pressuring the ball, not having eyes on the ball in transition. I rarely see Auburn that out of it. Defensively, Auburn's just going to have more investment right here. Oh, my goodness. A little bit of a overclocked possession there on offense, honestly. You rarely say that either. Auburn moving too fast. On that last possession, Janai had that zip pass down to Cheney, but he was a little errant with it and a little late with it. And Cheney tried to kind of contort himself and then just didn't get his body in the right position and missed it badly. See, Kaduman says Kirby or even Saban, they can coach circles around him, however, not the attraction that Prime is. I don't know about that, man. And I think that most coaches, I would completely agree with you. I mean, Freeze, or I don't know, Lane Kiffin might be big enough because he's such a flashpoint on Twitter, but like a good coach that, like Marcus Freeman, right? Like he's a good coach. I don't know, he's not anything like Prime. Like from a Q score perspective, maybe he's big enough. I don't know. Chip wants to know the layup stats. I am glad to provide. Let's take a gander here. All right, so the Auburn Tigers, oh, God bless. I still got the Alabama one up on this one. Jeez. Jay, what are we doing, G? All right, so Arkansas, they are 5 of 6 layups, 1 of 1 dunks. So that means at the rim, they're 6 of 7. That's pretty damn good. The Auburn Tigers are 3 of 4 layups, 0 of 1 dunk. So they're 3 of 5 at the rim. Okay, so it's Taha, Denver, and Miles, I guess, that have the different colored sneakers. It's part of the, what do they call it, the Aura crew or the Aura team? All right. So Taha hits one and gets it all square at 17. Auburn and Arkansas tied at 17. A familiar refrain during the fall. Yeah, Frank G says not sure if his injury has anything to do with it, but Janai looks content not challenging guys going to the basket. Yeah, you're right. We've been noticing that for 2 or 3 games now where he seems more interested in fall-away jumpers than he does taking it straight to the hole like he used to. When I say used to, I mean like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're going to call a foul on Tahad there. Defense looked good. He may have fouled him. I don't know. He's definitely bringing more defensive intensity right now. Tahad is. He's really bringing it. Yeah, it's foul. Call Me Viscott says, still can't picture Belichick on the recruiting trail. I'm just going to laugh at that. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that would be. I think it's best that he just stay off the recruiting trail altogether. Can you imagine like some young parent who's like 30 trying to understand, or 32 or whatever, trying to understand that guy? He's like morose, Such a strange decision, I think, by him. Almost like he's going to try to win to spite NFL teams that didn't pick him up after the Patriots situation went so bad. And I think we all got questions anyway about how good he is. He's great when he has the GOAT quarterback there. Chad just got kind of trapped. Had like a moving. Oh, boy. That's the kind of shit Arkansas can do to you in transition now. Come on. You've got to get them into a quarter court game and get that clock shot bled down to where they've got to take desperation jumpers. That's what you want to do to them. Oh, God. Dylan was getting real ambitious there. Chip says Belichick just needs to bring his girlfriend on visits. Interesting.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
That's a nice transition bucket there for Arkansas. Yeah, Frank G just said CBM. Damn. Yeah, he got absolutely overrun on that trap. And then that went straight. We got to get him down on that trap. We got to stop that inside trap. Melee says, we all know Belichick ends up a Raiders coach in 5 years. No. We already got his lieutenant, Josh McDaniels, and he was awful. Set us back decades. I feel like a stranger says Cardwell was looking to snatch souls. He was going up, and he was going to put it down someone's throat. Dylan with a difficult situation at the free throw line, as is customary for him. Nice offensive rebound, though, to keep the possession going. Ooh, Denver with a little step back action. Missed that from about 20 feet. Didn't like the quality of the shot personally. That's kind of the stuff he used to do at FIU, and sometimes he kind of reverts into that mode when he's at Auburn. All right, now this is a much better defensive possession for Auburn. Notice that Arkansas is really having to work here to get something. And Chad tipped that ball. I mean, that's a shot clock violation right there. Great defensive possession right there. That's the kind of shit right there that you can kind of put your foot down and say, okay, here's what we're going to do, We're right up against the end of the third, segment of this game, and I still think it's even. Zachary wants to know, is it just me or has the offense bogged down with Chad in the past couple of games? I think part of it is because Chad himself has been struggling. And I think it kind of bogs it down just because he's bogged down, right? I don't like this shot either, guys. I don't like the quality of that shot, and I don't think Auburn has to. Dealing with a turnover, a careless turnover. Auburn did pressure the ball and pick it up in transition there, though, so that's a step forward. And this is what you want to do. You want them to have to reset with 18 on the shot clock and have to figure out something here in the quarter court. This is not where Arkansas thrives. Good defense. Is another really good defensive possession. They're going to call a travel. Outstanding. You hardly ever sit around and think, hey, man, Auburn needs to get their offense going. But it does happen sometimes. CJ jumps into the super chat. My man. There he is. Number 20. You know him on the bunker. And he's jumping in with a super chat. No message offered. No message needed. We appreciate you, brother. Stay strong out there. I know some people have been it's been a little contentious in some of the threads here lately. Let's get some hot, fresh stats. Real Deal is out there in the greater Huntsville area. He's wondering what's going on with this Auburn attack. It's not quite up to standard tonight, at least not yet. Arkansas has a good defense. Typically, you do not think of them as a good scoring offense, but they haven't had much trouble so far tonight. Here are the latest stats. Both teams getting some pretty balanced scoring, all things considered. Let's see, Auburn's passing. 4 assists, 5 turnovers. That's too many turnovers for a half. And you still got plenty of time left in this half. 5 assists and 3 turnovers for Arkansas. Auburn has 0 blocks and 0 steals, which is really strange. 7 of 19 from the floor, Auburn is. 2 of 8 from 3, which is okay-ish. 1 of 4 at the line. You don't really think of Auburn as being a big line team. Fouls are actually Arkansas 3, Auburn 2, which is unusual. 9 of 18 from the floor for Arkansas, which is they're very happy with. And 0 of 2 at the line. So Auburn's done a nice job of not fouling so far. 9 rebounds to 14. Auburn's up 5 in that category. So in general, some of these numbers, they look pretty good for Auburn. The 5 turnovers really stand out to me. Auburn, I think, had 8 in the entire Alabama game. Something like that. It was absolutely single digits. So 4 assists and 5 turnovers for Auburn is definitely high. But remember, they had those 2 weird turnovers early in the half that were the receiver of the pass wasn't even looking back to back. It was strange. So, yeah, Schaefer Key is a little concerned about that assist to turnover. You got to think it's going to turn around a little bit, but it's been an odd start. Now, Arkansas started out 3-0, and now they're 5-3, so they've had their own ball handling issues too. So, in general, right now, I would just say that Arkansas has been able to get to the cup in transition and also in the half court a little bit in the beginning of the half. And I feel like Auburn's been better. Let's see. Todd Pettiford Truther says, already passed our turnovers from the Bam Bam game. I didn't know it was quite that low. Thank you for that. They're showing a little bit of the defensive effort Auburn against Alabama from the weekend. And kind of like the team approach to defense on Mark Sears. And he's got absolutely nothing on this possession here. He's tried really hard and just don't have shit. Ends up taking a panicky shot, a low-quality shot, and it airballs it. Auburn has some really good individual defenders with Janai, Dillon, Denver, Miles Kelly's at least. I'd probably give him a B in defense. Tahad's getting better. I would have called him a C in the beginning. Now I'd probably say he's a B defender. Denver's an A defender. I mean, they got players. Auburn does. CJ says, just came to drop the super chat piece. And Kanuman says, have a good night, CJ. It's Kanuman, always one of our most congenial members, a friendly man. Oh, Chad with a nice kick out to Chaney. He can't quite hit it. Chaney not a great three-point shooter, but he's all right. I like the shot, though. It was a quality shot. I'm on board. By the way, I'm going to have to go even on that last segment again, guys. These two teams have not pushed away from each other at all. Here's another good possession defensively for Auburn. This is not a quality shot for Arkansas. Now they got the bucket, but that's still good. Janai really taking his time getting across half court there. I don't think he's hurt. I think he's just kind of wore out a little bit. Tahad with a splash. I don't love the shot, but I like that it went in. I like that it went in. Tahad, he likes shooting. Oh, man. Chaney got beat right there. And then he made the mistake of fouling him. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, another. What the hell? Hold on. I got it, bro. You guys are talking about the ads. Cast. I click stop, so try to make sure we don't do that. Zachary says Hod is going to be a beast next year. I'd argue he's a beast right now, but I agree when he has a full off season to kind of consolidate the progress, he might be absolutely disgusting. I mean, I think he's great. Been talking about him after talking with Jason Caldwell about this, my friend from Auburn Undercover. He thinks he's more like Nick Van Exel. I used to say Damon Stoudemire, but I think Nick Van Exel is probably a better. Because, Tahad's not like. They used to call Stoudemire, used to call him Mighty Mouse because he was so small. Look at that look right there for Janai. Nice pass. They used to call him Mighty Mouse because he's such a little dude. Tahad's not that little. I mean, he's shorter than some, obviously. He's not a super tall point guard, but he's not little. He's probably 6 feet tall, 6'1". Boy, Auburn's defense, it's like 5 possessions now. They've really taken a step forward here. Real Deal is also taking a step forward. My man says JG sets the standard. This team needs to finish War Eagle. What's up, brother? Glad to have you here with us tonight, checking in live from the greater Huntsville area. I know it's going to be cold and possibly snowy up there, I understand. We're only getting some coldish air here in Montgomery. Another amazing dish. A delicious dish, as some would say, on back-to-back possessions from Tahad. And, guys, this segment's starting to turn around a little bit here. I think this is an Auburn segment here. Defense has stepped up. Offense is getting a little more smoothy, softy, slushy, yummy. That's a really low-quality shot for Arkansas. They do get an offensive rebound. And their 7'2" dude misses their second chance opportunity. So if Miles or whoever can get a bucket down here on this end, you feel like Auburn's starting to get some real momentum here. I think that's 7 possessions now where Auburn's had some really nice work on the defensive end. Oh, my goodness, Chaney, did he get stuffed? Oh, we got a technical foul on the big man. You in trouble, homie? You better be lucky Simo went out there to whoop your ass. Coach Cal, that is bullshit. I do not like it. Oh, really? Guys, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that kind of technical, man. I mean, it was taunting, 100%, Stu Pup. You're right, and I'm not even arguing that part, but golly, man. That was a hell of a play. Let the kids celebrate a little bit. Auburn does some of that. I didn't feel like that was hateful. Anyway, I mean, I'll take it. Chad Bacon lasagna at the line, and he's pretty good up there, so. By the way, we don't talk soccer on this channel, but you hate to see Man City lose. Just kidding. Yeah. I'm not upset about that at all. Yeah, P-Pass said SEMA would have had the flying elbow, the people's elbow. Look, the dude is still trying to adjudicate this. Bro, look, man, like it or not, you did taunt the guy. And that's going to be a technical 100% of the time. All right, so Chad Bacon gets his 2 free throws, gets Auburn out to a 26-21 lead. They're going to have the ball. And this is a chance to really move forward here for Auburn. Let's see, Stu Pup says a bad rule was enforced, and it was written to the letter J. Yeah, it was definitely taunting. By the letter of the law, it's taunting. I don't know, man. Tahad had some beauties earlier, but that was not a beauty. We're still discussing the merits of that technical foul. Kanuman says, I love you. However, you realize you're talking out of both sides of your mouth on this. Of course. I mean, it's, I'm not a judge and jury. I'm just a Commodore. And not even a good one at that. I don't even have a boat. I don't even have a boat. I don't have a canoe. I don't have a kayak. I have nothing. Another good defensive possession. They ended up getting a decent quality shot out of that, but they missed it. Let's see. P-Pass says, people talk about Alabama, Auburn. Man, Chelsea is frightening. Like, it's like gangs over there. Bro, if you think that's bad, you got to go to these Millwall games where it's legitimately like a melee. And I mean respect to melee in our chat, but. I'm going to go ahead and give Auburn that segment right there. I thought they played some really good basketball. I think defensively we're talking like 10 possessions in a row right now that I think have been good. And then offensively they've been able to pick it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the win on that segment. Prior to that, it had been an absolute draw. So it was good to see Auburn finally put its foot down a little bit and assert itself there on the scoring end, even though they're only up 5. I'm getting some hot, fresh stats available. The latest box score as we go toward this final segment of the first half. And we will see what kind of statistical markers have changed over this period of time that has elapsed. It's been about 4.5 minutes game time since our last stoppage. Auburn's assist to turnover is now even, which is, usually Auburn's got a really good assist to turnover. Right now it's 6-6, but it's better than it was. Arkansas is 5-4, which is about where they were. 10 of 22 from the floor for Arkansas, 10 of 24 for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn ahead at the free throw line, which is unusual. Auburn is +7 on rebounding, which is nice to see. Somewhere, my man Cassidy P is fired up about that one. Kind of an odd marker. It's just that Auburn has no blocks and no steals in this game, which is unusual. Second chance opportunity. Auburn's up 4-0. Bench points, don't really care. Fast break points, 4-0. Although Auburn's been kind of not fast breaky in this game for whatever reason. And then points per possession, both teams are going to feel like it's just way too low. So, yeah, it's been pretty even. And that surprises me a little bit. Thought Auburn would be a little bit more ahead at this point in the game. Brent May says CBM tried to be Brett Favre there. You could tell he was winding that bitch up, wasn't he? He's like, trying to zip it in there and just didn't quite have it. Cheney was open, but I think that window was just too small. Ultimately, the ball was deflected out of bounds, and it will be Auburn's ball when we come back into play. Bruce Pearl is all the data you need. Has some great news reporting that Missouri is up 14 points on Alabama, and Oates just got teed up for throwing a clipboard.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Well, there we go. What a nice guy. Threw a clipboard. He sounds nice. Daniel P. with us tonight, even the ladies and gents and otherwise. And Blake R. says, we broke the turds and Oates. Thank you, and I will say this, not because I respect Alabama per se, but I like it when people spell his name correctly. A lot of times people spell it like it's Hall & Oates, and that's not how you spell it. You spell it the way Blake has spelled it, and there were some other people in the chat that spelled it correctly. Again, accentuating my point that this is the smartest basketball chat on the entire internet. It was Bruce Pearl's All the Data You Need, who also correctly spelled Nate Oates' name. I think it's okay to spell your opponent's coach that way, to spell it correctly. Bruce Pearl continues to add Oates is furious. And Beppo, my man's here. He says, Oaks getting fire. He's very upset. I would like to see this. However, I am glued to this one. Melee says, clipboard seems more dangerous than soft drink cans. What a hypocrite. Janai is at the line right now. He hit his first one. And he still gets another one. Jester says Nat Otts. Well said. And Melee with a little Hall & Oates joke just says man-eater. I found out recently listening to the VJ Big 40 that man-eater allegedly was written about the city of New York City, I should say, and not a woman. I had to look it up myself. My mom was a big fan of Hall & Oates. So when I was a kid, I listened to a lot of Hall & Oates. That was a really nice drive right there by Arkansas. Split two defenders, shaped his body in the air, put it in the hole. Great play. Listened to a lot of Hall & Oates and Elton John when I was young. Also, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack was a big one in my house. Another follow-away shot from Janai. His two-point shooting has just had – I haven't looked at the numbers, but they have to be down 15%. He misses a lot of these followaways. Oh, he's not going to miss that one, though. He's going to get his shit stuffed, but he wasn't going to miss it. Cheney with a really nice challenge in the full court right there, and ultimately did not foul him. That's a completely clean block against Janai there. That was well done. And then on the other end, Cheney had a really nice defensive play to get the ball out to Chad, and then they fouled, and Auburn's got the ball back. So this is great. Got a kick ball, reset. Yeah, Frank G, I have to say, I don't know if I would use the word soft myself, but I would just say gun shy. You say Broom is soft inside. Now, don't know how else to put it. I mean, you're right. He's not going to the hole with the ferocity and the consistency that we have known him to be like in the first 20 games. He just doesn't look like the same. He's not attacking the same way. But, he's still getting numbers. I mean, the numbers he had in the Alabama game were terrific. Nice play by Tahad. Tahad's been your best individual defender tonight. and there's a low-quality shot from Arkansas. Auburn is really clamped down defensively, and they just haven't been able to take advantage of it on the other end. Janai with another silly three-point shot with like 20-something seconds on the shot clock. I don't understand why he's taking that shot. It's a low-quality shot. It's just a big, fat F, if you want to know my opinion. Taha doing the same shit. Offensive rebound will help him get there, but Janai started doing his little post spin about 4 feet too far out. He realized he was not in a position to really get a good shot off, so he passed it and got it picked off. I mean, come on, man. That's some stuff I would have expected 2 years ago from him. Great positioning from Janai to repel that drive. Great positioning by Tahad. They made the bucket, but really good defense there. Boy, it's just never would have expected the offense would be the problem for Auburn in this game. I mean, it happens sometimes. I don't really think it's anything Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas's playing spirited defense. I don't want to get that wrong, but that was a nice shot right there. I think a lot of this is just Auburn's not really together on the attacking end. Just they don't have their shit together today. But that nice little shot there from Razorbacks and Lasagna gets Auburn to 30 points. It's been a slow grind. Notice that Auburn's been really keeping Arkansas out of the transition game, and holy shit. That Serbian or Croatian dude just shot a ball, and I mean, he missed that rim by a mile. Good golly, Miss Molly, that was a bad shot. Wow. Again, Arkansas shot quality has fallen off an absolute cliff in the last 10 minutes. It's just fallen off a cliff. Got some stud photographers down there I can see. John Reed from USA Today Sports. Butch Dill from the AP. Great photographers there. There's Matty Crouch, the SEC replay official tonight. And Auburn's essentially playing for the last possession here. I think there's maybe 1 second off on the shot clock, but I think Auburn would be wise to wind this down and get a quality shot and just go to the halftime locker room up 7. I think they'd feel like that was a W compared to what was going on. P-Pass says, Jay, I was led to believe Chad wasn't going to play tonight. It wasn't from me, brother. I've been telling y'all for, the last 2 weeks that he isn't hurt. Holy shit. Now, you can't taunt the sideline. Are they going to call him a technical? First of all, this is for Chad's shot. Splash. And then this is for Chad getting a technical.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I don't understand why he would do that. He can't. He's just got to get his shit together on that, man. He hit the shot. It was a great shot. It was a great way to finish the half. Just do your thing, man. Just go down the court. God. Just giving away points, man. Giving away points. You hit a great shot to finish out the half, and you just gave them 2 more points, and they're going to get the ball back. It's so stupid. I can't even. If I was a coach, I swear, guys, I would not. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I would tell Chad, I'd say, sit down and don't even get up for the timeouts. Just stay your ass on the bench. I don't want to see you. That's an interesting choice to throw the ball back with 4 seconds in the full court. Good God, what are you thinking, bro? Boy, he better talk to Jeremy because Jeremy might be able to pray for his ass. God, man. Oh, that's just so frustrating. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because Auburn still goes +1 in that final, 20 seconds of the half or whatever. because you get the 3, which I was thinking they'd get a 2, and then they gave the 2 back. So really getting a +1. But, I mean, why is Chad doing that shit? And after the taunting technical against the tall guy, against Chaney, you should have known right there that they're gonna keep their eyes out for that. Yabo says Jay is a mean coach. I'm just saying I couldn't deal with that. All the time that we have spent, right, as a program, if I'm thinking about this from BP's perspective, right? All the time that we have worked with him, we have talked about the Yale situation, we have shielded you from the consternation related to that. We have allowed you to just kind of move on in anonymity last, off season and say, hey, man, this is a much more complex problem than you getting kicked out of the Yale game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then he comes through the first, 18 games of this season, and he's more mature, and he's a really important part of the team. And now we're starting to see him just start to flake out again, and it's just frustrating, man. Zachary Young says ZBM is such a bipolar enigma. I don't like the word bipolar unless it's an actual diagnosis, which I don't know about that with him. But I know what you're saying, and it's just all over the place. I would just say mercurial. Chip says sit CBM the second half, put in the walk-ons, plus him with 20-point lead. I would be tempted to do that myself, but we are in an era where you need to win games, and Auburn's the number 1 team. And, I mean, BP's going to say, hey, man, he's one of my leaders. And that's a good point. So let's just go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and, we'll pull up these halftime stats, and it's just such an awful way to close the half. And God bless, man. I mean, I hate it for him, dude, because he's going to have to sit in that locker room and be like, man, I know he's going to be laughing, saying ha, 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 but, deep down, he knows that he screwed his team right there. He hurt him. For silliness. Wizard D says, I've never seen anyone get a tech for not saying a word. I mean, he's, doing the whole, taunting right at Calipari's face. Don't do that. Let's see. Matt N says, who does he lead, JG? Well, technically, every day at practice, he leads, the stretching and everything. So he's an actual team leader. For real. Oh, hold on. We're watching the highlights from the Missouri-Alabama first half, and this is definitely going to include a clipboard getting thrown. I want to see this. Boy, Alabama's perimeter defense is left a little to be desired. Look, they're all over the place here. They didn't even show the clipboard getting thrown? Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Yabo says, I bet Broom lets him know it's not funny. I don't know if Broom's that way. Broom doesn't talk a lot. I can see Broom telling him to chill, feel like a stranger said, but if you're talking about somebody to get in his face and tell him to stop being a baby, it ain't going to be Janai. I'm not sure who would be able to do that. Maybe Simo? Maybe Dylan? But Dylan would do it very diplomatically, I think. I think it's got to be VP and Steven. To just be bro, what are you doing? Damon K correctly notes that he taunted on the offensive play before that. He did. I thought he might have gotten a technical at that point, but it wasn't quite as bad. Matthew M says, what's up with the ads? I thought I'd turn those off. Wait, they are off. I'm looking at it right now. I don't have an answer. The ads are on in the beginning usually. Sorry, guys. I make just a little bit of money from it. Just a little bit. I really try not to have y'all burdened by it, though, for reals. Yeah, I feel like a stranger says Simo and Dylan. Those are the only two, I think. Because, Chad's high up the pecking order, Let's take a look at some of these numbers right here. Wizard D says he hadn't had one ad yet. Interesting. All right, let's look at Arkansas. First off, 12 of 28. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they were shooting significantly better than that at one point. 12 of 28 is not too bad. 1 of 9 from 3, which is right on par with what I would expect from them. They don't have much shooting. 2 of 6 from the line. 15 boards, and Auburn has 23. So Auburn to be +8 rebounding that's big. That's clutch. Very, very clutch. Arkansas 4 blocks and 5 steals, which surprises me right there. 4 blocks. I don't think of them as being a team that's, not much longer than Auburn. Conversely, Auburn has 0 blocks and 1 steal so far in this game. Matthew M says, no worries. I need Maddie to be able to get new water bottles. She does love her water bottles. They're not that expensive, though, to be fair. Some of the numbers from Auburn, 12 of 31 from the floor, which is not real sexy. 4 of 14 from 3 is not real sexy. 5 of 8 from the floor is not sexy. So shooting-wise, those numbers kind of jibe with what we've seen, which is that it was a pretty grindy first half where I thought the shot quality was not very good in the first 10 minutes. I did like it better in the last 8 minutes or so. I thought Auburn was spacing out a little bit better. Still not getting the three-point shooting that I would expect from Auburn in this game. But being +8 at the free throw line is a terrific plus. Second chance points, Auburn is up 4-0 in that, so didn't give up any second chance opportunities for Arkansas. Of course, Arkansas only has 1 offensive rebound in this game, and that definitely hinders their ability to get those second chance opportunities, but that's something Auburn's going to be very happy with. Just a couple things that really stick out to me here. Auburn's 2-point shooting is not good. Auburn has 0 blocks and 1 steal is really strange. And assist to turnover being 7 and 7 is just weird for Auburn. I think that may be more turnovers than they had in the Arkansas game already. Spicy P says, get Hunter on the horn. We need to understand this gap scheme, my man. Coach Hunter. My man right there. Wizard D says, Chad getting kicked out of the Yale game was BS for a shoulder bump after being punched in the throat the play before in front of the ref, and that wasn't called. And we can continue to adjudicate that for the rest of time, but you just can't be punching at people like that. I mean, it wasn't in the face, but he's like gut punching the guy. And I mean, dude, was he trying to actually hurt him? No. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Abby Cran is excited to see the Missouri's having a great game against Alabama. Abby Cran does not love him some Alabama Crimson Tide, I'll tell you that. It says he has it in his name. He likes the Aubries. Daniel says, Cal was right at the end of the half when he said they were letting us hang in there with them. Ephesians says, what's the adjustment on offense this half? Well, the key really was defensively, I thought, which was paying close attention. And I thought part of it started on the offensive end. Usually it's your defense leads the offense, but in this case, and the way this game was going early on, you want your offense to kind of leak into your defense. And so I think Auburn was Coach Sonny Smith would often say you want to make sure they're not being able to cherry pick, which means Auburn's going to make sure you've got people behind the ball to stem those transition looks that Arkansas was getting early in the game. So Auburn did that. They paid better attention to spacing on the attacking end so that they could get back. It slowed the game down for Arkansas's offense, and what you want Arkansas on a half-court set. You do not want them in transition. That's where they're going to be able to kind of pull even with you because they have really good athletes, but they don't have shooters. So you want to put them in situations where you've got 5 seconds left on the shot clock and you're having to run your shit to get a shot in the half court. That's not a winning formula for Arkansas, and that's what Auburn was doing the last 8 minutes of the half. So offensively, what I would be doing here is focusing more on tempo, okay? And I'd also be trying some side ball screens to try to get their big guy displaced a little bit on some switches and then get some of those quick zips down low. You saw one to Chaney from the top. I can't remember who passed it in, where Chaney got a little contorted and missed the shot, but it was still a great machination. And there were a couple other ones, like on a flex cut, where you can kind of flash into the lane. And when you've got, I don't know how to say his name, Ivisic, the big tall guy, once you get him displaced, they've got no rim protection. They shouldn't have any rim protection. And you've got a chance to do a flex cut and get right in there and get an easy bucket. I think Auburn can win this game. I still think Auburn can score 80 points in this game. They've just got to execute a little better on the attacking end. I loved what Auburn did in the last 8 minutes defensively. I thought they went from playing C defense to like A- defense. And that's how I feel about it. I'm also going to give Auburn the edge in the fifth segment, the final segment of the first half. So first segment even, second segment even, Third segment even, or a draw, as the kids would say in soccer. Fourth segment I gave to Auburn, and the fifth segment I also gave to Auburn. And, of course, Auburn has a 6-point lead right now. AU 256 marvels, along with Abby Cran, at how many points Missouri's been able to score in that first half. 59 points. Neil J., my man, coming to us from his not a usual spot for him. Neil's usually in the great country of Scotland, but he's on holidays, the kids say. And he is now more in our geographic zone. I don't want to say exactly where he's at in case he's got fans on here that want to try to knock his door down, but we're glad to have him here on the show with us tonight, my man. Adonna Mouse says, consider me watching your ad as my super chat. Super chat. Appreciate that. Let me see. I'm sorry about the ad. I'll work on that, guys. I didn't know it was going to be a really big deal. I really didn't. I don't ever like to disrupt like what we're doing. Let's see. Neil J says, if Auburn scores 80 points, then they should party like it's the end of the world. Is that a little Steel Panther humor? I like it. Party freaking hard, eh? Like tomorrow is the end of the world. Feel like a stranger jumps in with another super chat. Call Kozan to discuss all these blocks. For real, though, if we stay focused, we can win by 20 plus. I completely agree. Don Properdickon said he got an ad interrupt. All right, I guess I'm going to have to work on this when we for the next stream, guys. I'm sorry. I've still got it on pause. I mean, I thought I had control of the pause here. I wish I could show you what I'm talking about here. Well, I'll show it to you right now. I can get you a screenshot. This is what my screen looks like when I'm running the show over here. I'll just pull it over. And see that little $sign with the pause and it says 205? I have to click that every 10 minutes because it gives me a 10-minute pause on ads. But I've been trying to catch it so that you guys don't have to see that. But it is what it is. Let's see. Rob want to know, how much did I expect Auburn to win by tonight? Of course, we're not finished yet. I would have expected Auburn to be up double digits by now for sure. I would expect Auburn to win this game by 15-20 is what I would have expected. But, I mean, every game is I think Sheryl Crow said it best. Every day is a winding road. Neil J. has now let the cat out of the bag. He's in Puerto Rico. He says he hasn't been able to find his Auburn game on TV in Puerto Rico. I'm surprised. But I found the next best thing, Alabama losing to anybody. Look at this guy. He's caught on. He loves it. Jeremy H. says leaders don't act like CBM does. I got to admit, it's a little frustrating. Because I feel a kinship with him because I'm kind of I feel like you guys may not know me that way, but I'm kind of a maverick myself. I'm kind of a cut up. I could be a little mouthy. I know I try not to do that too much on the bunker because I'm the Commodore, but Jester87 says, JD, do Bruce and Cal hate each other? Or is it more of a general dislike? I think it's just kind of a semi-active dislike, and I think it's just like two guys who are like, there's a key difference between those two men, and the key difference, in my opinion, is that Calipari takes himself very seriously and looks at himself as a very accomplished coach, and BP has always kind of felt like he has come from a place going all the way back to Iowa where he felt like he was an underdog. He got blackballed in that Deion Thomas thing. Kind of when he became a head coach, he had to kind of work his way from a lower spot. I mean, he starts at Southern Indiana, gets to Milwaukee, gets to Tennessee. I mean, he did get there. But he's always kind of been an underdog, and I really don't think BP takes himself too seriously. I don't. And so I think, and he's never told me this, but I mean, BP hasn't. I've never asked him specifically about Calipari, but I think he looks at Calipari and thinks, dude, get over yourself, you know. that's one of the things that I think that BP, that's why he kind of likes Nate Oates, is because Nate Oates, and he's punchable for sure, Nate Oates is, but he's pretty real, man. And BP's a real guy, and those two, they get along all right. I'm talking about Oates, not Calipari. They don't. Those guys don't hang out at all. I think that's one of the reasons that BP likes Stackhouse so much. I know he's gone and he wasn't very good at Vanderbilt, but Stackhouse is super real too. And I think that's just kind of the thing that BP likes the best is just real people. There's Zach Bland, Auburn's outstanding team photographer with the hat on backwards behind BP there. Let's see, Cotter B says, Cal is a punk and a sleazebag. Have zero respect for him. He's not a great coach, just a good recruiter. I'm not even sure he's that. And posted players before it was legal and had grades changed, etc. I don't know about all of that, but he was paying players is what he's trying to say. Yeah, I mean, probably. Melee says, and he doesn't match his blazer shade with the uniforms. That's amazing, dude. Melee, that's a comment of the night for me so far. That's amazing. Also glad to have Neil J in approximately our same time zone, which is unusual. He's usually way ahead of us. And then tonight, I think he's 1 hour ahead of us. So it's doable. All right, second half is now underway. Thank you, Feel Like a Stranger, for that outstanding super chat. And we'll have to check with Kozan to see if he's got any thoughts on the blocking. All right, Auburn's got another. The first possession of the second half is pretty grindy. An offensive rebound, and now you've got a jump ball. An attempted alley-oop from Janai to Dillon, which, if there weren't any defenders, would have been a delicious dunk, but there were defenders. So a wasted opportunity there. Carter B says he was at UAB when Cal was at Memphis. Have some fun stories from that rivalry. Let's see. Anonymous says, tell me when the game is on. I don't have the bandwidth to watch this and the game. Damn. Well, the game's on, I guess. I don't know. All right, Janai's triple team. Somebody's going to be wide open here. It's going to be Denver. I'm assuming he got that ball blocked. He was way short. All right, Auburn having some difficulty in transition there, getting the right. They weren't pressuring the ball correctly, but Arkansas missed the shot. As they do, Arkansas not a good shooting team. So Auburn's first two possessions here had some good things going on, but ultimately we're just kind of grindy. Denver's going to take a rushed shot there. I don't like it at all. Great offensive rebound from Dillon. Now Miles from the free throw line. He's going to knock that one down. Drop. I like that shot. Now that's better, man. Looking for a better shot there after a terrible first heave from Denver. After that, they were more patient. 27-35, Auburn Tigers lead by 8. Boy, Arkansas already looks fatigued to me. We're only a minute and a half into this half. Boy, that was a great challenge from Semo right there. They still scored the bucket, but boy, if they hit that shot, you just tip your hat to them for that one. I feel like the last 3 or 4 Arkansas buckets have been like that, where I feel like defensively Auburn's right where it needed to be, and they just made a great shot. And that's like, 4 of 15 shooting in that period of time, but still. I don't like that shot from Denver at all, but he hit it. It was patient, though. Give him that. It wasn't just heave it. Colby thinks that shot from the free throw line is going to get Miles Kelly going. That would be terrific. We all know, man, he can really heat up when he gets going. Little two-man game from Arkansas there. They kick it out. That's weird. They did a great job of getting to the free throw line a little deeper, and then he kicks it out. Well, this is not the kind of team to kick out. They don't have anybody to shoot. Are we already to the first? Is this the immediate timeout here? Oh, no, we're not. So 17:06. Arkansas going out of bounds underneath. Arkansas missed another three. Good goalie, Miss Smalley. Brent says Arkansas has to work so hard to get anything. You're absolutely right. Auburn's defense is absolutely locked down since the 8-minute mark of the first half, and that has continued into this half. Simo. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. We need to get a sound for whatever that was. Like a brick going through a window. Good golly, Miss Molly. I mean, he was wide open, but he missed that by a mile. It was so interesting to see Arkansas trying to post up Janai, and Dylan did not drop down to support him. He made a conscious decision to not do that. And so he was staying. He was going to try to cut off the ability to pass that ball out to the wing. I'm curious as to why. Small Victory says that's Brick City. It was yikes. Melee says masonry. Come on, I'm going to give it a laugh for that. That's funny. Masonry. Ooh, Auburn gets beat on an underneath out of bounds. You don't see that very often. Caught ball watching on that one a little bit. Maybe they were still getting organized. 37-31. So we got Tahad in there now, and we've got Chad kind of rotating in like normal, I guess. So Chaney with another three, same spot as his first attempt, and he missed that one as well. So this looks kind of like it was in the first half, honestly. Oh, Arkansas just hit a three, though. Oh, they'd missed probably 7 in a row. Maybe even a blind squirrel, you know. It's down to 3 points, though. Hey, Nask, why not start Tahad, Denver, and Miles if you're going to bench Bacon Lasagna? I don't know. They weren't benching him. This is basically the usual. Oh, he just had a turnover right there. Look, but see, this is what I was talking about at halftime. The turnover was so deep, and Auburn was ready to get back to slow them down in the break. Similar to what they did against North Carolina 2 months ago or whatever. Yeah, on the attacking end, they're paying a lot of attention to being in good defensive position to stunt or to repel full court stuff. They're just not going to let Arkansas get out in transition. And they're saying, okay, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to execute in the half court, and we don't trust you that you can do it. Oh, they just hit another three and tied it. I mean, it's just still the same story here. I mean, defensively, yeah, they've hit some shots here. But it's the offense. I don't know that we've seen an Auburn game with such offensive stagnancy. Oh, God, that's a horrible shot from Janai. And the ball just kind of tips in. I don't know how. Well, Janai will give you a couple of those a game now where he just looks like he's, I mean, honestly, this looks like your drunk uncle or something. Like I know he's not drunk, but, you know, it's like he's trying to spin, but instead he's kind of leaning and he kind of loses balance and he like kind of lays into you, but it's not really a foul. And he's not shooting from a good base, so he's just, it looks bad and he doesn't hit it very often. Now that, on the other hand, looks nice. Good transition pass into Janai for a good finish, left-handed. Own goal. Good job, Matt. I like that. You just think, like, if Arkansas had a couple, like, shooters, they'd be okay. This team would be okay. Oh.
Drop.
Miles Kelly badly misjudged the finish in that full court, but Janai was right there for the flush. Flush. And I'm guessing Arkansas called timeout there because they were getting pushed. So are we to the end of the second segment already? This is very similar to what the first half was like. where you got really deep in before we even got a break. I think it was the 11-minute mark when we got our first timeout, our first media timeout in the first half. And now we're down to 13-22 and just getting it now. Arkansas did call timeout because Cal was feeling the pressure. All right, I'm going to get the second half box score here. As you guys know, I'm kind of partial to those when we get past halftime. First 10 minutes of the half, I like to look at the stats of just the half. They mean a little more to me. And it also reminds me of my days as a junior reporter when I'd be at the press row and they would hand out stats. You'd have somebody like an intern who would come around and give everybody a little stat sheet at every timeout. It was a huge waste of paper, but it was nice to see the stats. And now my stat disappeared. Where did you go? Wow, okay. I found it. It just wasn't the numbers I was expecting. I didn't realize that it was even this half. All right, this is just the second half box. So if you see 10-10, you're like, JJ, what's going on? Is this out of date? No, this is just for the second half. So 5 of 13 for Auburn, 4 of 9. Wow, for Arkansas. So Auburn's +4 shooting, Auburn's +3 offensive rebounding, 2 of 5 from the 3-point line for Arkansas this half, and Auburn's 0 for 4. 1 assist, 2 turnovers for Auburn, which still puts Auburn in a minus for the game, which is bizarre. Arkansas has 2 assists and 2 turnovers this half. So honestly, this is more of the same. This looks a lot like what was going on in the first half, with the exception of that final stanza. And I'm going to call this even so far, in this half, I should say. What's the latest on the Missouri-Alabama game? Chip says strange game. Boy, to say it the least. You're absolutely right. It is strange. When's the last time Auburn struggled offensively? I mean, even in the Florida game, they scored 80 or whatever. South Carolina was a grinder. That's for sure. The Tennessee game here was a grinder. So that would be the last time would be that Tennessee game. 53-51. See the great spacing in the break, like perfect spacing. Miles is just going too fast. And Janai stuffs it home, and you could see, like, Miles' face, like, God, you know. Okay, so Alabama, Missouri just restarted. All right, 61-48 Missouri. Good stuff. Chip says offense struggling at home is really odd. I agree. And I just honestly don't think it's a lot of this is what Arkansas is doing. It's more like Arkansas is just kind of fighting. They're being valorous, I guess would be the word I would use. There's been no let up in their emotional investment and intensity. We know they're underpowered, but you know, maybe Auburn's just kind of sapped out a little bit from that Alabama game. There was a lot of hype with that, a lot of effort went into that. Obviously a great result. Arkansas. That's a move that Auburn likes to use against people, that backdoor alley-oop from 15 feet, or 25 feet, I should say. I'd like to see more side ball screens, or at least something. I don't like... You're not seeing any ball screens from Auburn here. Another second chance opportunity. Nice putback from Janai there. Kind of cleaning up Miles Kelly's miss. Raven says maybe Arkansas will start scoring for us. That's one way to do it. Hey man, we want to sub out some of our scoring. Would you be open to that? Oh yeah, we can do that. I mean, it's like Arkansas has some good stuff they're running here, and they get good looks from the perimeter, but they don't have anybody that can hit them. Tahad can hit one, though. Oh, he missed that one. That was a look that he hits a lot. Stoop Up says Auburn is 4 of 18 from 3. That's making it feel worse than it is. It's probably true. You think Auburn probably wouldn't stay in that bad of a funk? Auburn's a pretty good three-point shooting team. Pretty good three-point shooting team. Some overall numbers to share. Auburn is 18 of 47 from the floor tonight, which is bad. Obviously, 38%. 4 of 19 from 3. That's 21%. These are bad numbers for Auburn. And 5 of 8 from the line. Yeah. Assist to turnover for Auburn is 8 assists and 9 turnovers. It's just very odd for them. Arkansas is up to 5 blocks and 7 steals. The Auburn Tigers do not have a block tonight. It's just weird. That's just a weird... it's just a statistical artifact. It doesn't really tell you anything, but it's just odd. And it underscores kind of the general theme of this game, which is that weird shit's going on. Auburn is still plus 12 rebounding, which is roughly 50% more than they've got total. They've got 2 offensive rebounds and 19 DRs. Auburn's got 11 offensive rebounds and 22 DRs. So Auburn's getting the job done on the rebounding end of the deal. Auburn has been called for 6 personal fouls, and they've been called for 6 personal fouls. That's a very low total for this point in the game, and Pat Adams is crying somewhere about that, believe me. Arkansas, by the way, is shooting 43% from the floor, 20% from 2, 33% from the free throw line. So it's just 2 teams that really aren't in any kind of attacking rhythm right now. Small Time Republic says Arkansas's big man needs to be working the post more, which is true, or at least you would think that, but he's actually their ace shooter. He really is. It's not like this game is the way they're doing it. That's just kind of who he is and the way they use him. He is their 3rd leading attempt guy from 3-point range, and he is far and away their best percentage guy. He came into this game 45% from 3, which is better than anything Auburn's got. Chris M. asking about the second chance point number for this game so far. And the answer to that question is JG. Anyone? Second chance points. Auburn 12. Arkansas 0. So that's a big difference. And that's something that's kind of crept up in this half. Small Victory says Pat Adams will call in a foul from home. He feels left out. Man, it's been a weird one. I'm still trying to understand a little bit better. Jester says just grind it out and win this weird-ass game. I think that's a good plan of attack. I mean, I'm on board. If you know what I mean. Daniel P. says, man, we look rough. Setting on offense for a bad jump shot settling, he meant. That's exactly what he wrote. My bad. And that's not like Arkansas is playing that great. Completely agree. Colby says, do you think Pegues will ever see significant playing time at Auburn? I do not. I would be floored if he had any significant playing time at Auburn at this point. I can't believe this is where we're at. I can't believe that's the situation. But that's the situation. All right, I'm going to try to turn him off again, Blake. I don't know what to tell you, brother. All right, I hit it again. Doing the best I can. See, Stoop Up says Broom is so good at kicking out when they drop down on him, and we can't do that with him at the elbow. That's true. I have seen a few situations where I thought he was just working too far from the bucket. And it also has something to do with him kind of settling for those fallaways, which we never saw him, well, I hate to say never, but rarely saw him do earlier in the season. Something that's kind of new. But it seemed like stickbacks have been probably his number one source of points tonight, which is fine. I mean, it's a great way to do it. Yabo, that's a complicated answer. There's a turnover for Auburn. That's a complicated answer as far as what is happening to JPP. I don't have a good answer to that question. I would chalk it up to unknown. He's not injured. I don't think he sucks as a player. I just don't think he ever got comfortable with the way this team plays. And he didn't understand. I don't know if that's the right word, because it makes it sound like he's dumb, and he's not. It's just like he didn't get in the flow of like where he needed to be when they went to open. Like there's a certain, I mean, sometimes Auburn runs this particular play. Like let's just call it 2 or whatever. That's not what they call it, but that's what we're doing it just for us. So if they run 2, that means you're going to have cutters down on the baseline, plus you're going to have a side ball screen with a full rollout or whatever, okay? Maybe they do a dummy move and kick it back out. I mean, there's a few orchestrated parts of it. But if that runs out in a possession and you've got 13 seconds left, rarely do they call another play. That's when they go to what's called open. And when you do open, you're essentially running offense on some basic principles. You're not running choreographed stuff. And I think it's when you got to that part of the game, JPP wants to run another play and everybody else wants to run open. And so they just weren't on the same page. Now, that is my best interpretation of what I think has gone on here. I think there's also other things at play that I don't know and don't understand. I just think that he's just not going to be playing. I don't know what else to say about it. Zachary says it's a combo of timing and confidence and team configuration. Team configuration is a great way to put it. Exactly. Now Thomas K says, okay, ESPN, stop with the ads. At least it's not me this time. And why am I looking at Sarah Huckabee Sanders telling me why I need to vote for her for governor? Like, obviously, I'm not sure anybody in this chat has a vote for governor in Arkansas. I don't know. I guess that's just money wasted or whatever. Call Me Biscuit says, I'm getting nervous. These guys are just hanging around. Stu Pup says, JPP just cashing NIL checks for a no-show job at this point. Now, that's not fair to say no-show, because he absolutely is at practice every single day. He's doing everything he's been asked to do. He practices. He competes. He hustles. I mean, he's there. He's on the job. Just like A.D. Scott's on the job every single day. Those guys don't take a day off. They don't take a possession off. In practice, those guys bust their ass, just like everybody else. Now, A.D. does more than JPP because JPP's out of the rotation, and they use A.D. all the time on scouts. So he probably does work harder than JP does. But at the same time, you know, JP's doing his job. Now, I understand it's a source of frustration, and I think a lot of people scratch their heads and say, man, we're spending X number of dollars. It's probably a fairly large amount of money on a guy who doesn't even play. And I think that's a fair criticism, and I don't have a good answer for that. It surprises me, too, and I wish it wasn't like that. I wish that for the kid. I mean, you know he's not stoked to be sitting around not playing, you know, after he was Conference Player of the Year. Like, he's used to being the man, you know. Ravin says, A.D. Scott. Yeah, there's people in the bunker. They're like, get him in. Needs to play. I'm like, where? Like, who? Not you, Ravin, but other people. All right, here we go. This is our second half box right here. You can see Arkansas is +2 this half, which is just kind of crazy that Auburn just can't get any spacing. I mean, it can't get away in this game. Auburn 0 for 5 from three-point range this half. And, again, that assist-to-turnover ratio is getting worse, not better. Chad misses another 3, so Auburn's now at 0 of 6 this half. I mean, jeez, guys. Kanuman says a decent percentage of the state of Arkansas is probably watching their beloved Hogs play the number 1 team in the country. Seems like a well-placed ad. Only thing better is if Arky played Arky, since they have no in-state rival. Probably costs a lot, though, right, to put a national ad on ESPN, which, I mean, she's got the money, so she's probably saturated everything in Little Rock and Rogers and all that, you know. Auburn just missed another 3. Almost feel like we should have a counter for that now, although that's a little morbid. 45-41. We're about halfway through the second half. Auburn still has not been able to get away from Arkansas here. Now, defensively, that was a whale of a play from Miles right there to get that steal, to flip that ball to Chad Bacon-Lasagna, who got out in transition and finished that bad boy. Looks like they're still trying to get. Okay, so Miles went over the scorers table, and looks like he took a gal out. Now, she's going to be okay, but surely we got a replay of that. Great play by Miles. God, he landed on the poor girl. A nice finish in transition for Chad, too. That was really nice. Yeah, Daniel P. thought that was a sick-ass play from Miles, and I have to completely agree. That was great, man. That might be the kind of play that really gets a team going, you know? Because in a game like this, man, like an 8-point swing is like really like a 15-point swing. Oh, and Chaney just goes,
boom, shakalaka.
Like I was saying, an 8-point swing in a game like this is like a 12-point swing or a 15-point swing in a regular game. Arkansas is going to settle for threes. I don't think that's a winning idea for them. Chris M's fired up for Chaney. Solo Tigre says, give me that nut. Small Victories goes, oh. And a boom from blah, 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 Blake. Small Time says we need to look for threes after getting some ball rotation to get in rhythm. That would be nice. That would be nice. I mean, Auburn's going to get this heated up, I think, from the perimeter. They just got to keep getting good looks. You got to get good looks. You can't get bad looks and try to shoot your way out of it. You got to work your way into good looks and then kind of let it ride, you know? He's going to try to take Denver one-on-one. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Oh, he changed his mind on that one. Boy, I hate fouls like that. I hate them when they go against Auburn, and I hate them when they go for Auburn. When you've got a driver and the defender is in position, first of all, that's a simulation foul. First of all, that should be a technical against Arkansas. It's simulation. It's simulation, and it just is. Second of all, I mean, he deserves as a defender to be able to stand his ground. And look, that call goes for Auburn too sometimes, so. All right, that was a nice drive. And he finished too. Nice play. Zachary, I completely agree, bro. Huge flop. I wish some of these refs would nut up and call it a flagrant. Not a flagrant, but a technical. Oh!
Boom, shakalaka.
Great extra pass from Dylan there to get that ball to Chaney and making it look easy. It is not, but making it look easy. Oh, that was tasty. That was yummy, yummy, yummy. Oh, they're trying some cutters here. He slid, number one did, when he was trying to get through. Great defensive possession again. Getting their hands on balls in the passing lanes. That's where Auburn's length really gets him, Chad's. He's trying to line this dude up. Oh. That's going Auburn's way. Oh, unless Denver knocked it out of bounds at the end. Wait, where's Dylan going? Did you see him running the other way? God, that is such a perfect example of like Dylan maturing as a player, you know? Like 2 years ago, he would have tried to drive that to his right hand and do a layup, you know? And instead, he just takes one step back to pull the defender to him and then lobs it up. It's just beautiful to watch kids get better like that, you know? It's just really, really satisfying to see these kids play like that. All right, let's get some stats. By the way, we're going to give Auburn the edge in that in that segment for sure. Playing some much better basketball right now. And we will go with the full box on this one. There we go. Stay there, Big Daddy. Hot, fresh stats. Golly, the assist-to-turnover ratio is just killing me right here. 10-10? This is nuts. 10 assists on 21 buckets. I mean, she's 4 of 22 from 3 is just crazy. 3 of 16, and it's not like they're shooting any better, but Auburn's a much better three-point shooting team, so you would expect Auburn to be much better than this. Auburn +9 on the rebounding tip and have essentially eliminated all of their offensive rebounding. Auburn's defensive rebounding tonight has been really, really good. They've got 8 assists and 11 turnovers, so Auburn's happy with that. Auburn now has 7 steals, guys. Auburn had 0 steals in the first half. Maybe had 1. I take it back. And they've got 6 this half. Wow, big difference there. Of course, Miles has been a big part of that. Yeah, the numbers that really stand out to me here are Auburn's assist-to-turnover ratio, 10-10, is shocking to me. And then 4 of 22 from 3 is shocking to me, too. Aside from that, it's just kind of a regular – I mean, it's just a weird game, but you never see Auburn shoot that poorly. Some great news coming in from small victories and Wizard D. No, not Wizard D. TM Taco, that Alabama continues to struggle at Missouri. Still down double digits. You hate/love to see it. And Wizard D asks, has Arkansas committed a foul in the second half? Let's see. I will take a gander. Arkansas has not been called for a foul in the second half. And the Auburn Tigers have been called for 4 in the second half. Interesting. Trying to think about what that means. Arkansas has definitely been driving, though. Been trying to do something else aside from just shooting threes and not hitting them. Stoop. I don't know what that joke is about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Mike says it's so satisfying to watch these young men compared to what we were a decade ago. Wow, going all the way back a decade. Absolutely. Big difference there. $43.51. Brent M says Auburn has been settling for a lot of jumpers. Yeah, they have jumpered a lot. I mean, Auburn's that way, though, right? Auburn typically is a jump shooting team. I mean, that's really kind of what they do. They don't have a great driver. Tahad, kind of. Although he ends up dishing a lot, which is good. I mean, it works. And then, Janai's usually a driver, like a short-range driver, and he hadn't been doing much of that. Zachary jumps in with a super chat. My man, a super chat. $6 and $1 for each Auburn steal this half. What a cool idea. I like that. Good stuff, Zachary. I appreciate that, bro. Are you the same Z Young that got the oh, man. Dude, that Arkansas bucket, man, he earned every inch of that bucket right there. Jeez, that was tough. Are you the one that got the grill, that won the grill back in, I don't even know what year that was, 2017 or something like that, 16? Got the Auburn-branded grill from Weber. That was good stuff, man. Yeah, Terrence, good idea. He says, this reminds me of the LSU game. Yeah, it does. That's a great example just of a game where Auburn kind of struggled to get separation, but did end up getting it by this time in the game. I think the second half, it was around the 14, 15-minute mark that Auburn started to push away in that game, but never really got fully away from them. In this game, it's been a little tighter, a little more grindy. Yes, it is. It's the same Z Young who had that awesome Weber grill. Sweet. That was such a fun experience because I got that from the Weber Grill Master. He's like the national dude who goes around and shows people how to grill. I learned a lot about grilling, although I've forgotten it all now because I use a Blackstone. But that guy was cool as shit, man. He was an adjunct professor at Ohio State. And part of the deal was, if I would push their stuff, they would give me a grill. And so I did. I pushed their stuff, and I got a grill, and then I gave it to a subscriber who, as Zachary was noting, he won that by guessing how many yards Sean White was going to have in a game. So that gives you an idea how long ago it was. That's pretty funny. Okay, 45-51, Auburn Tigers up 6. We got 6 minutes to go. You've got Tahad in there working the point. You've got Denver trying to play 2. Chaney just got a little push shot, which was tasty as fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss there. Sorry. It really was, but I should use a better term. And he got fouled on the shot, too, so that was a nice little Pac-Man sound is what I would make. I love the timing of that. He was able to kind of push him back a little bit legally and not extending the arm, and then use that separation to get the shot off. That's just a function of watching video and committing to playing smarter basketball is what that is. Call Me Biscuit says, wait till you see Oates' temper tantrum. I cannot wait, dude. I'm so excited. I still liked Miles' positioning and technique on that drive defense, but they called it, and they got the bucket. So ultimately, that goes down as an L, but I like where he's at. That is a foul. It wasn't a laziness foul, though. And I can understand why Miles would think, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong there? But he did hit him on the arm. Yes, Melee. Sorry, man. Tasty AF redacted. I'm mad at myself. I don't even have my mom here to get mad at me for that, but she would be mad at me. Sam H says this ESPN announcer is being hella biased. Interesting. Like anti-Auburn, I'd be shocked to hear that. ESPN never does that. Also, rule number 1, don't trust a Dookie, period. Like, I wouldn't, and you shouldn't either. Oh, another missed 3, though. Oh. I don't like that from Tahad. I don't like the shot. He got back, but he was having to hustle so hard to get back. He wasn't able to help defensively. Frank G says, geez, man, this is painful. So grindy. I mean, I think Terrence was right about this being kind of like the LSU game, but it reminds me more of the Tennessee game where you just, 6 points would have been a big lead in a game like that, and Auburn never got going. Tennessee never got going on the scoring end. It was a defensive slugfest. I wouldn't necessarily call this a defensive slugfest, but Chaney. Bro. Yeah, CJ says another step back 3. Good Lord, it's too much of that. It's too much of that. I think they can get better shots. I think the better shots are there to be taken, to be gotten. All right, Chaney got one of them. And now we go into the final 6 minutes here. Oh, I forgot about that hockey game tomorrow. USA-Canada again. That'll be fun. I won't be watching it, though, because we'll be doing the bourbon blend. All right, here we go. Let's see what Auburn can do defensively if they just can lock it down. Arkansas has been a little hotter lately. They've been able to get some decent-looking shots. And that would also qualify, in my opinion, as a decent-looking shot. So it's a little pull-up from the free throw line. Splashed it. Nice shot. Quality shot. CJ, my man, jumps in with a super chat. Says something about Cal and Rick Barnes that gives us fits. Well, speaking of that, they just got out in transition again and got a bucket. Essentially uncontested. And 53-55, guys. Appreciate that, CJ, for the
Super chat.
My man. All right, Cheney driving here. Oh, step back from Cheney. Oh,
Drop.
that was nice. That's a shot that was not in his arsenal 2 months ago, I don't think, but it looked nice there. Excellent execution. 53-57. Oh. Smart play, man. Boy, Tahad just looks like, oh my goodness, what happened? But what BP says, always want to be the second guy off the floor. And Tahad was not the second guy off the floor there. So now you got 3 from John L. Davis. Shanked the first one. Daniel P. absolutely jumped into him, but that's an age-old trick right there. You cannot be up in the air like that. Just can't do it. Hits the second one. Boy, it's a narrow margin here, guys. Narrow margin. Guys, it's a foul like all day and twice on Sunday. That's just easy. Todd's got to know better than that. All right, 57-55. I mean, it's tight here, guys. I trust Auburn to execute thoughtfully in the last 4 minutes because that's the kind of team they are, but there you go. There's a foul. Silliness. For Arkansas on that one. I wonder if Chad's getting under his skin a little bit. He seemed to be unnaturally interested in going in on Chad right there. Sam H says, who was the Spurs power forward that perfected that move? God. Was it Danny Green? Used to get that one a lot. The point guard, Ginobili. He used to get that one a lot, too. All right, 55-57. Man, it's crazy. Oh, Miles didn't need to do that. Miles came in way too hot defensively on that, and I think it would have been okay to let him shoot like that. All right, so we're going into this last segment here. George Gervin, is that what you're thinking, Mike? The Iceman cometh. I used to have that poster in my bedroom when I was a kid. I love George Gervin. Also had a Brian Sipe Sports Illustrated poster in my bedroom. I don't know why. I think it was like on sale at the Scholastic Book Fair or something. I didn't even know who the hell that was, really. I mean, he was like the Browns quarterback before Bernie Kosar. I don't know why I would have been messing with that. All right, getting the hot, fresh stats here. Some of the last ones we'll see in a live game here because the next ones we'll see will probably be final. One would think. All right, stats. Old stats deleted, new stats fresh. I want to see this assist to turnover ratio. 11-11, guys. This is nuts. The 11's not really high for turnovers. I mean, it's high for Auburn, but it's not like unseemly. But 11 assists for Auburn is way low. They've got 9 assists and 11 turnovers. 9 assists on 24 buckets, which doesn't surprise me. They're just doing a lot of driving. 36-29 offensive rebounding advantage. So Auburn's rebounding advantage is kind of narrowed a little bit. 12 fouls called for Auburn, 10 for Arkansas, so that's pretty close. Janai, I mean, we talk, when you're looking at him, I don't think he's having a great game, but I mean, 14 and 11, it's not awful. He just isn't like. He's not a big factor in this game. That's the problem. Chaney's the closest thing you've got to a real factor now. Denver started off hot, but he hasn't been doing much in the last 20 minutes of game time. So to me, Chaney's been like the star of the second half. And we've had some folks, I think Frank G was one of them, just you need to get more touches to Chaney, feed Chaney this half. Missouri still clinging to. They still got a 9-point lead with 10 minutes to go. Thank you, Small Victories. Appreciate that. 4 of 24 from 3-point range for the Auburn Tigers tonight is just awful. 3 of 17 for Arkansas. They're not happy about that, but they are used to that. Terrence says Brian Sipe was the quarterback for the original Cardiac Kids. My dad, a native Clevelander, loved him. All right, there you go. I had him on my wall. I don't know. I had him and Samantha Fox that I won at the Tulsa State Fair, and or I guess they call it the Tulsa National Fair. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Probably some hotties. I don't know. So weird that I thought Samantha Fox was so hot, and she was a lesbian the whole time. Like, nobody told us. We didn't know back in those days, you know. Raven says this game should have never been like this. Let's see. Spicy Pieces, championship caliber teams figure out how to win a game like this. I completely agree with that. Whiskey Slim, my man, I love that name. This feels like a game where we usually get a lift from Tahad, but that's not happening. Yeah, he's been kind of settling for like step back threes that have not been hitting. He's 1 of 4 from 3 tonight. BP looks annoyed. I can understand why. He's going to feel like he's got some egg on his face here just because, you know, they had the huge win and they're number 1 and they're on ESPN playing this game and they're not playing well. Although, I mean, defensively they're playing well, but, you know, listen, man, at the end of the day, I mean, Auburn's the number 1 offense in the country. So they roll out there on a regular day and just score 75. And, I mean, they've hit 80. They hit 90 plus in Coleman. I mean, jeez. Mike says Brian Sipe was the crush for my young lady students back in the day. Wow, that's going back a few years, bro. I think I just got him at the Scholastic Fair because my mom would never. I mean, my parents weren't the kind of people to like buy me sports posters. I'm sure I got it at the Scholastic Book Fair. They were like, "Hey, man, if you buy these 2 Choose Your Own Adventures, we'll throw in a Brian Sipe." And I was like, "Fuck it, okay, I'll take it. You know, whatever. You get him or Dan Pastorini." Oh, man, Chad, with another turnover. Daniel says their guards are better than ours, at least tonight they are. I think you might be right. And Arkansas is leading now, guys, 58-57. Wow. Carter says no one's really had a good game. Chaney, I guess, with the best stats, but shooting has been straight bad. Yeah, he's having a good game, but you're right. I don't think anybody else is having a good game. Golly. Okay, this is good, though. Guys, this is good. Let's just see them. All right, Chad with a nice clutch baseline drive right there. Beat his man around the horn and was able to stick it in old school Chad fashion, so that was nice. But Auburn is unnaturally concerned with John L. Davis shooting threes. I'm not sure why they're worried about that. I want to look at his numbers and see if he's a good three-point shooter because I don't think he is. John L. Davis is a 31% three-point shooter. I mean, that's not something you worry about too much there. All right, 59-58 Auburn, 2 minutes-ish to go. You just want to see some good execution here and get the ball into the bucket. Chaney looks like he's ready to go. Oh, he's going to take a turnaround, fall away, not get it. Ball's bouncing around, and it goes in.
Drop.
Oh, I guess Janai got the tip on that. Giving Janai a little tip action on that one, I guess. Boy, oh, man. Calipari's flipping out at his power forward there. I guess for giving up that that tip in. Yowzers, he was pissed. Yeah, they ended up giving that bucket to Janai. I'm sorry, I couldn't see it as well. Maybe. Let's see. Terrence Davis, Janelle Davis, was a baller when he was the FAU. I wonder if he ever went up against, I'm sure he did, against Denver back in the day. So they're saying Cal called the timeout there. Let's see. Yes, 30-second timeout for Arkansas. Now they have hit 5 of their last 7 buckets of shots. 5 of their last 7 shots have gone in. How's that? And Auburn haven't hit consecutive shots since the 9:42 mark. They keep hitting and missing, hitting and missing, hitting and missing, over and over and over again. Arkansas has been much better here lately. They've hit, like I said, 5 of their last 7 shots, and 7 of their last 9. No, 7 of their last 10. Excuse me. So they've been pretty good. They still can't get a 3 to go. That's a pretty good look for Arkansas for the big guy. And just couldn't get it to go. Arkansas is going to finish with a truly miserable. I mean, God, this dude hasn't scored yet. He's 0 of 8 from 3-point range, guys. I mean, jeez, he's failed to score. He's their best 3-point shooter by far. Chad's going to get fouled, and you know what Chad does at the free throw line. Frank G says the game plan for us should be layup, layup, layup. Zachary Young, Big Z is over 8 from 3. I mean, guys, they've been on him. He's had probably 2 really good looks, and he missed them, obviously. But they've been on him. He has failed to score. 0 of 9 from the floor, 0 of 8 from 3. Golly, man, that is hard times. All right, Chad, first free throw is in. Daniel P says no jinxes, Jay. Bad Jay. Bad, bad, bad. Bad streamer. Bad, bad. All right, he hits them both. 63 to 58. As Ravin would say, we got to have a lockdown here. We need a stop. Need a stop here. I think they're trying to figure out if that's going to be a bucket or if that was a foul on the floor. Calipari thinks that should be continuation. I think it's a foul on the floor. Yes, that's what the call was. So he's going to have 2. Or as a 1-on-1, excuse me. But as it works out, he will have 2. If Sam H is listening to Coach Sonny Smith, defend without fouling. Got to have that one. Got to have some defense without fouling. All right, so he hit both, 60 to 63. We got 101 to go. No anxiety for Auburn. Just get down there and work your thing. Get a good shot. Drawing a foul's fine. Points without the clock running is fine. It looks like they're just running open here. Just the whole possession. Oh, my goodness, Janai couldn't quite finish that. Ball goes out of bounds to Auburn with a reset shot clock because there was a shot. So that is definitely to Auburn's benefit there. Wow. That is by a very narrow margin there, fellas. Yowzers. They're going to have to review that. What did you guys see on that one? Yeah, small victory is just so close. That's how I'm seeing it. What is that going to be? Auburn? Are they going to retain Auburn possession on that after that review? All right, Thomas K thinks he's seeing Auburn ball there. That's what I like to hear. Also, what do we got on Alabama, Missouri? Yeah, from that angle, no Auburn player touched it. Yeah, no Auburn player touched that ball. So that's 100% Auburn ball. Yeah, Austin Peay sees all that Auburn ball. I do too. 90-78 is what we're looking at for the Missouri game. Oh my goodness! I mean, those of us, this is a very smart chat. Obviously, you guys know what a struggle it is with Missouri these days. I mean, Auburn just spanked them early. I think it's probably good that Auburn got that out of the way because Missouri's gotten a lot better. They're playing much better basketball. And I was talking to Cuz from across the street, who's a Bammer, and he's concerned about that game. He's like, I don't like the looks of that. And I thought, man, I don't either. St. John's, oh, that's women's basketball. Okay. I thought St. John's had lost to Creighton, but that was girls basketball. All right, let's see. 20 seconds on the shot clock here. It's Arkansas's. Okay, there you go. If they're going to foul, intentionally there, that's a bad guy to foul. But I'm not going to say another word about it. I'm not going to say another word about it. You know they didn't want to foul Denver or Chad, though. Chad hits the first one. Get that out to a 4-point lead. That's nice. 32 seconds to go. He said a quiet second half, which is good after what happened right going into halftime. He's been, calm and not being a fool. And he just hit. He's now 6 of 6 at the line. So that was nice. Auburn up 6 now. Whoa, what did they say? 65? Yeah, obviously, yeah. I don't know why I gave him 2 for a free throw. That's stupid. Arkansas just missed on their possession, and now Auburn's got this game won now. Now Denver's going to have to go to the line with 13 seconds to go. And danger zone. We're going to finally play the danger zone.
This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail.
We've all been there, guys. Wait, hold on. Have we? We haven't all messed around with a girl named Tiffany, although we probably messed around with a girl who probably could have been named Tiffany, if you know what I mean. Denver steps to the line and hits his first one to get Auburn's lead up to 6. Thank you for the danger zone reminder, Chris M., my man. Albie Kren says, ugly but big win. Yeah, coming off that Alabama game, it's good to, fight through this one. It's good. This is helpful. Oh, and Arkansas just finishes one last time, or fails to finish one last time. So Auburn's going to get out of here with a 67-60 win, unless Chad goes and dunks it, which I think he was aiming to do, but. $67-60. That's a final, by the way. Yes, Chris says in high school. Of course, many years ago. Chip says, I did once have a girlfriend whose name ended in I. That's a risk. That's a risk that you took. And I'm glad that, you're no worse for wear. Because that's dangerous. I mean, you were walking a very thin line. All right, time for some final stats. Arkansas, by the way, they had that hot surge there. Around the 5-minute mark, they had hit 5 of 7 shots. They finished missing all 4 of their final shots of the game. And that's not a good way to finish the game. Auburn's defense was taut, T-A-U-T. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. At times, Auburn's defense was outstanding tonight. Other times, it was just okay. You've got to be happy with the way the perimeter game worked out. I mean, Arkansas goes 3 of 19, and their big man failed to score. He finished 0 of 9 from 3. Good golly, Miss Molly. What was that? Small Victories has some great news to report that Missouri's up 14 on the Bammers with 4 minutes left, and Alabama has allowed 95 points, and there's still time to go. Raven says survival is the name of the game. Damn right, sir. That man knows his basketball right there. Auburn Tigers 67-60. Shot 25 of 62 from the floor, as Rick Pitino would say. Let's try to figure out these numbers from 2. 21 of 36. Is that right? 21 of 36. I don't have my calculator here, but that's pretty decent from 2. That's about, 60%-ish? 62%, something like that. From 2, and then 4 of 24 from 3 was yucky. Auburn, of course, 13 of 17 from the line, and we're particularly good there late in the game, where you've got Chad and Denver stepping up there and knocking down some free throws, and the rebounding margin, which I thought was getting a little closer. At around the 5 or 6 minute mark, Auburn ends up extending that a little bit to plus 13 rebounding margin, which is their best margin in a while. So that's really nice. Let's see what else we got. 11 assists and 12 turnovers. I don't know when the last time Auburn had a negative assist to turnover ratio, but I can't remember that happening lately. It's probably happened this season, but I don't remember it. It's so unusual for that to happen with Auburn. Looks like there's a chance here that Alabama's going to give up more than 100 points in this game. You hate to see it. No, you actually love to see it. Other things going on in this game, I'm still kind of breaking down the Auburn-Arkansas game. Arkansas had plenty of three-point shooting problems of their own, 3 of 19 from the three-point arc. With their big man, who came in 42% shooter from 3, fails to score. Number 44 goes 0 of 10 from the floor, 0 of 9 from 3. Did have 8 rebounds and some other nice stats to pad it up. But, man, that's shooting. You can't get away from that. 0 of 10 from the floor. Takes an over. Man, his girlfriend will not even kiss him tonight. He has no chance of finishing. None. I hate it for him, but, shit happens. Blake R. says we broke Bama. Let's give it a laugh for that one. I think he's actually right about that. But Missouri's a tough place to go. If Auburn was going there tomorrow, or whatever, in 3 days, I'd be concerned about it. And maybe I'm the problem because I thought this game was going to be a lot easier than this, 67-60. They're going to feel good about what they did defensively. Alabama had a hard time getting their three-point numbers up the other night. Ultimately, they failed badly. And here's another situation where Auburn 3 of 19 from 3 for Arkansas. Now, they're not a good three-point shooting team, but still, that's a great number. And, Auburn already is a good defensive team, and that's the kind of number that'll spike you in three-point defense. Sam H says Big V had so much hype when he played at UK. Yeah, tell me about it. It's like the Yankees prospects that come up through the system, right? It's always somebody new. And, Tyler Clifford's going to be awesome. And right now it's Jason, I forget his last name now. There's always some Yankees guy they're hyping up big time, and that's the way that guy was. Small Victory says these 9 o'clock EST games are tougher on some days, but damn worth it. History. My man, I know it is tough sometimes. As we get older, I think you're probably younger than me, but to stay up this late, it's funny, 10:15. I'm like, it's always late, man. Kind of late out there. Let's give some letter grades for these individual efforts. Denver started out great, finished just okay. 9 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Hit 1 3-pointer, which is like really early. So, and 1 assist, 1 turnover in 31 minutes. I'm going to give him a C, guys. Janai, 16 points on 7 of 15 shooting. Not awful. 13 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, no blocks, no steals. B+. Are you guys good with that? Had to get another pen. B+. I think I would go with that. I mean, he's still, well, maybe just B. Maybe we'll just go B. Stupov gives Denver a C+. I think that's fair. I mean, it's still a win, and he hit some big free throws late, and he was a steadying presence. He wasn't a problem. You just like to see him, I don't know, man, just be a better point guard, I guess. Simo, I mean, whatever. We just give him a C. It's his first name, first initial of his name. Miles, 7 points on 3 of 10 shooting, 8 boards, which is great for him. 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 4 steals. I'd give that a B+, I think. I do think he was an auger tonight. It kind of got some stuff going. I mean, his steals in the full court, and mostly that awesome one where he stole it and then dived out of bounds, got the ball to Chad, and Chad went down there and scored. That's the kind of stuff that I thought was turning things around in Arkansas there in the second half. Also, my man G. Curry says a tough grade on Janai. Okay, I'll give him a B+. I'm willing to do that for you. I mean, he's kind of, I don't know, you watch him and he's kind of underwhelming, but then you look at the numbers and you say 16 and 13. Yeah, that was a key part of this. I mean, he's a building block, right? See, I'll give him a B+. Dylan, didn't notice him as much tonight. 0 points, which, happens sometimes. 3 boards in 19 minutes. Interestingly, played 19 minutes and had no personal fouls. 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 block. That's a C for me. Tahad, didn't notice him as much tonight. 1 of 4, 4 points, 2 boards, 4 assists to 1 turnover was good. A little bit of an auger tonight. I'm thinking B-. Chad Bacon Lasagna, I'm tempted to give him an incomplete for his silly technical foul there late in the first half that I thought really just was silly. You just giving him 2 points. 15 points on 4 of 8 shooting. You like to see that. 6 of 6 at the line, 3 boards. 0 assists and 3 turnovers is not good. I'm thinking B-. And then Chaney, I don't even have to look at the numbers. Chaney gets an A from me. I love the way he played tonight. 14 points on 6 of 13, 6 boards, 1 assist, no turnovers, 1 block, 2 steals. That's an A for me. That's just an A for me, straight up. Chip's giving Janai an A, which I can support. Again, the stats are there for sure, even if he doesn't pass the eye test. Chaney A, which we're both in agreement with. Miles gets a B-, which is okay. I thought he was, again, I thought his defensive contributions were really useful in the second half. I'm sorry, I've lost track of where he was at. We get a lot of, the chat is popping off right now. Sam H. believes Chaney deserves an A, which I completely agree with. Frank G. says Chaney's in a groove the last 3 or 4 games. Definitely, he's playing with a different level of confidence. There's no doubt about it. And I think that the Ole Miss game, because if you remember, I think he scored 7 to 9 points himself in the defining stretch of that game in like the second half around the 16-minute mark. Ever since then, I feel like he's been a different player, and he's been awesome. We've all been waiting for this. And again, tonight, I thought he was really good. Melee says CBM was key. Without him, we lose. I think in general, that's just kind of true because he gives you so much energy. And again, 15 points on 4 of 8 shooting. You take that all day long. Terrence asking about the latest basketball commit, which is a JUCO player, Bashir, whose brother plays at Monmouth and who's having a whale of a season. The information I got was that the Bashir from junior college is going to be playing essentially what Miles Kelly does. He's going to be like a 3 who can shoot it, and they think he can defend a little bit. He is very thin, so he actually makes Chad look a little heavy. I mean, we're talking like real thin here. And I will be curious to see if his brother, who's playing shooting guard, was kind of a combo guard, but who's playing shooting guard at Monmouth, if he's going to come and join his brother here at Auburn. That's the kind of the chatter, but that's not from a coach. That's from somebody that kind of keeps an eye on stuff. But I was talking to a coach, not an Auburn coach, but a coach nonetheless, about those 2 Bashir guys, and he thought that the kid at Monmouth was better. And then I was talking to somebody else who's more involved directly with Auburn, and they thought the JUCO kid was better. So I don't know, but it sounds like both of these kids can play. Austin P says, JJ, I know I asked last week, but in your opinion, do you think we'll see Howard playing again before the end? So what was weird about your question was you asked me, and I told you no, and then he checked in and he played for like 2 or 3 minutes, like right there. So my thought was that he wouldn't play, but now I think they would. I don't think that he's necessarily banned from playing. I just think that like they're not going to go to him unless they need him. And plus BP likes this rotation he's got going. I saw a good question. A Taxman's asking about A.D. Scott. The bunker really needs minutes from him and Kai. Give me a laugh for that. That's funny. Again, A.D. Scott, love him. Great practice player. Shows up every day, busts his ass. He's probably the hardest working guy in practice. I'm not kidding. He plays so hard, and he gives his teammates a great look in practice, but he's not going to play. He's not going to help you on the he doesn't need to score. Just keep him away from the basket on the scoring end, I promise you. Wow, what a grinder-ass game that was, huh? Bama inching back is what we hear. Surely they're not going to be able to actually get back in this game. They've already given up 100 points, right? All right, Ken Palm has gotten the game added. And Auburn is number 2 in the Ken Palm behind Duke. You know how it goes. Duke, Auburn, Houston kind of oscillate there. It doesn't really matter much. All 3 of those teams are awesome, and I think Florida's really good too. I still don't kind of get the Tennessee thing. They've lost 5 games in league play. And, I mean, I know they're good. Believe me. I know that. But I'm surprised that Ken Palm likes them as much as they do. Let me go ahead and take a look at I'll pull Auburn's schedule here for you to consider now that we've got the latest W added on the Ken Palm. And I will momentarily put away the hot fresh. Well, they're not hot fresh anymore, but the latest stats. Here's Auburn's schedule as Ken Palm reports it. Of course, we got the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend, 3 o'clock tip on Saturday from Neville. A game that you would think Auburn would win that game pretty handily, but we would have thought that from this Arkansas game, and we didn't see that. But look, man, Auburn's a great team. They're going to get everybody's best effort. That's the truth. You hear that a lot from coaches, but it's true. I can remember covering Kentucky as a youngster back when they were at their very, very best, 96, 97, 98, and they had games like this. And even though they had an amazing team, just like this Auburn team, you have games. I remember that year in 97, Kentucky went down to Ole Miss and got beat in an ice storm, basically, and everybody at Lexington was freaking out, like, oh, my God, lost to Ole Miss. Hey, that could have been a game like this here, and Auburn found a way to dig it out. That's good. Sam H just says Georgia sucks. Everybody agrees with you. You'll hear there'll be nobody fussing with you about that statement in here. You do have the Georgia game this weekend inside Nev. You feel like Auburn could win that game by, you're thinking double digits or more. Then you've got Ole Miss here, which, again, you feel like Auburn should be able to win that game pretty handily. But then you've got your gauntlet. You've got Kentucky on the road. You've got A&M on the road. A&M's been playing some great basketball lately. And then Alabama to close inside Neville Arena. I've said all along, 15-3 clinches the league. A 14-4 gets you a slice, and you may be able to win it, based on how it works out. I still feel like Auburn's going to get 15 conference wins. I do. I mean, even if they lost both of those road games, I still think they could win out at home, and that would be enough. I think that would get it. Robbie says Mizzou just hit a hundo. Oh, it's hard times, man. Hard times when you get on the road in this league. The idea that this is the best SEC ever. And one of just a dominating conference nationally in Auburn. Here they are just sitting atop and just taking on all comers. Let's see. Small Victories asking, is that Pat Adams? I thought Pat was at Kentucky tonight. Almost positive he was at Kentucky tonight. Let me see if I can actually find that. I'm trying to find a Kentucky game on here. Kentucky played Vanderbilt tonight, right? Yeah, here we go. I'm pulling up the UK stats here real quick. Yeah, Pat Adams was at the Vandy Kentucky game tonight, so that's definitely not him at the Missouri. That would be amazing. He'd have to get on the Concorde or something. Let's see. Ephesians says, what's the most games Auburn has won in the regular season? That's a great question for Scroggins Noggins. I don't know the answer to that. But I'd have to believe that 28-3 would be the best they've ever done. I bet it's like 25-ish. I think 31 is the record for most wins, right, for Auburn? But I'm just throwing shit around. I don't know for sure. CJ's happy to see Missouri drop triple digits on Alabama tonight. You hate to see it, but at the same time, you love to see it. And what did Georgia do today? You guys probably or yesterday? I wasn't paying attention to them. I don't pay attention to them very often. It's because it's Georgia, Ooh, boy, they've been in a bad run of form. Jeez Louise, they've lost 8 of their last 10. Oh, they're off is the thing. So they lost at Missouri on the weekend, lost by 13 at home, and then they had the midweek off, and now they got Auburn on Saturday on the road. They have not been playing great basketball at all. Their wins are home against South Carolina and home against the LSU Tigers, so they haven't really accomplished a whole lot. They did beat Kentucky, but remember, that was a long time ago, 82-69 on January 7th. So they are capable. And they have some players. Azanul is a player, for sure, that Auburn wanted very much so. And if you recall, Auburn was up 9 in that game in Athens with a minute to go and needed some help to win that game. They needed some clutch misses at the end. Ravin says, is there a league limit on text? Anyone know? Like if you get 6, then you get automatically ejected? Is that what you're talking about? I don't think so. Small Victory says, be quiet, Oates. Go defend criminals, my man. That's what I'm talking about. Mike B., great question. Should we try to win the SEC tournament? My answer would be no. No, I would not. I don't see any benefit to that. I personally don't. I don't know if BP sees, I don't know how he looks at it, but if Auburn ends up winning this regular season title, like, just move on. Like, just do whatever happens in Nashville, you know what I mean? Like, don't go there and tank it, but just don't, let's just, if you do come home and you get an extra 3 or 4 days of rest, like, okay, that's fine. I think we're all good with that. Get Janai off his leg a little bit. Make sure you get him as close to 100% as possible and let it rip. That's what I would think about it. Zachary Young asked, can we get Azanul in orange and blue next year? Hell yeah, I'd love to see it. I mean, obviously, to talk about it now would be tampering, Zachary. Sheesh, but you know what I mean. CJ says, uh-oh, Bama cut it to 6. I figured this game was over. Am I going to have to turn this on? I am going to have to turn this on and try to figure out what the hell's going on. Dennis Gates, what are you doing? I guess it's on ESPN, huh? On a SEC network. That's exactly right. All right. 104-98 with 55 seconds to go. 104 points. And you still haven't clinched it yet. Melee says, go to Nashville, eat hot chicken, and rest. I love the sound of that. That would work for me. Ravin says, just feels wrong to have that mentality. I understand what you're saying on that. Oh, Missouri beat him in the full court there to get another bucket. 106 points now. Oh, Alabama just turned the ball over again. Sploosh. Can we make sound effects for games that aren't even our game? Missouri's at 106. I thought that girl was going to actually flex on us. Daniel P says, Aiden. Ha ha, ha ha. Poor Aiden. Man, this is bad. Alabama giving up this many points. I bet this is the most points they've given up in a long time, if ever. 107. Lord have mercy, you guys. Jeez. What if they give up 110 points? But I don't know if I've ever watched Alabama like this. 108 points they've given up. Boy, Sears got stuck. Oh, man, he's going to have to get out of that trap, too. Oh, he got blocked on a 3. Oh. Go down there and score, bro. This is your chance to get to 110. Oh, he got fouled, too. They could get to 110 here. Raven says, is Bama in the danger zone? Yeah, we can play that.
The danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail.
They are in trouble here. They're in danger of giving up 110. Wow. Vince is up 10 and Missouri's attacking on D. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Oh, 109. Cassidy P jumps in here at the end of the show. We missed him so much during the game. He says, yo, 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 from Washington, D.C., Big W, glad we sacked up. Let's get an applause for Cassidy P. Oh, a little loud there, my bad. Cassidy P, what do you think about Alabama giving up 110? Yeah, foul him and let's get to 112. Oh, they're not going to. 110 points. Wow. Hard times. Need to give him one of these right there. Uh-oh, Dennis Gates is having to get on the PA system. What's he saying? He's saying stay off the court. Stay off the court. What did he say? Do not rush the court. Okay, cool. Well, I tell you, Missouri's turned this shit around, haven't they? They are a legit team. And Auburn just summarily put them away early on in the season. Maybe that was the kind of beating that they needed to kind of say, hey, man, we got to be better. I mean, we can't go out like that, you know. Bruce Pearl is all the daddy you need. Jumps in with a super chat. Appreciate you. Bama tears nourish me. That's where I need a Pac-Man sound. I need one so bad. Pac-Man. I'm going to have to write that down. I need a Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Todd Packer. I'm not listening to Pat Bradley. I won't listen to 1 second of that guy. Is D Lucky in the chat? I saw somebody at D Lucky earlier. The legend himself. Yes, he is here. What kind of parlay you got, Stu Puff? There he is. My man. Kevin B says, what remaining games are you worried about? I am definitely worried about both at Kentucky and at Texas A&M. I am. And I don't know. I mean, I would have thought that Auburn would have beaten Arkansas by 15 to 20 points today. So, who knows? What up, D Lucky? It's good to have you here, G. Our chat is more prestigious when you're here with us, my man. Plus, we got the bourbon blend kicking back up tomorrow. And I don't necessarily know you're a big bourbon blender. I know you're a big supporter of Jay and Courtney Tate, but yeah. Kevin B. For me, the Georgia game, I just feel like Auburn is, significantly better than Georgia. I don't know that Auburn's significantly better than Mississippi. Auburn is a much better team than Georgia. Auburn is a better team than Mississippi. I don't think that Auburn is like super, super better than Mississippi because I have a lot of respect for Ole Miss. But you feel like Auburn can win that game by 15-ish, 10 to 15. But, man, at Kentucky is a tough one. At Texas A&M, I think is actually tougher because I think A&M is a better team than Kentucky, and I think they're playing better basketball in Kentucky, although Kentucky smashed Vanderbilt tonight. So I don't know. I think part of it, Rupp, you go into Rupp and it can kind of get to you because it's so voluminous, It's so big, cavernous. Cassidy P, yes, I know you're a late arriver today. Bourbon Blend is on par for tomorrow night. It is on the schedule. We have this. We got the new studio is up and running. I was working on graphics today. Obviously, Courtney has a Courtney's Corner that she basically has in Fort Knox because she don't want anybody to have any ideas about what Courtney's Corner could be. But we believe that there will be one. And, we're going to roll it at 8 o'clock Central tomorrow. And we're going to be drinking some pinhooks, some special pinhooks that were blended by a guy named Take. T-A-K-E. He's a big guy on Reddit. And great. I can just say all the ones that I bought from him have been really good. They've been right exactly what he told me they would be. So I'm looking forward to trying a few different of those. And then we'll also have some other special pours tomorrow. Kanuman says he's pumped about the blend tomorrow. I already sent Kanuman a new Red Sticks picture of Miss Courtney, but we will certainly see the old one tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to that. So if you guys want to check us out, we'll be on at 8 o'clock. Not on this channel, but on our Bourbon Blend channel on the YouTubes as well. Stu Pup says Auburn ain't winning at Reed Arena. We need someone to beat Florida, and the math starts looking really good for Auburn. Blake R. says he's fired up for the Bourbon Blend, my man. And Mike B just says, I want a bourbon show next show. And P-Pat says, I'm the designated driver tomorrow night. Oh, that's tough. Hey, sometimes you got to be that. You got to serve your friends or your loved ones. So, I mean, I'm glad to see you're doing that. Need a responsible person. Also, if you get the self-driving on a Tesla, it makes it a lot easier if you're going to be a designated driver. That way you can kind of think about other things while you're driving. Let's see. Cassidy P says, I'm at a work conference, so I'll do my damnedest to bring some others to the dirty dozen. And, of course, Blake is fired up for breadsticks picks. We got a new one the other day because, as a joke, I took Courtney to Olive Garden for Valentine's Day. And, of course, I had to send a breadsticks picture to Kanuman, who is a huge enthusiast of course, breadsticks from Olive Garden. He considers them some of the most haute cuisine you could get in all of America. Mike says, JGT, you need to get Courtney a hot outfit for us tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Okay, there'll probably be some, well, you know what I mean. We'll see how it goes. I'll let her know that she's got her fans that would like to see something a little low cut. See if we can make something happen there. Let's see. Kanuman says, I'm sorry, D. Lucky, another of the legends. Says one of us, I made pre-blend plans. Will be on as soon as possible. That will be definitely appreciated, my man. Sam H says, good night, Auburn fam. Sam is one of our legends here. We love to have him here. Appreciate you, Sam, for stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday for the Georgia game here on our channel for the Brain Drain. And Spicy P correctly notes that the Alabama-Florida game is going to be important as hell. Alabama, Auburn's got some tough games to close out, but and nobody has it worse than Alabama. They've got Florida, Tennessee, and Auburn to close. So yikes! Just best of luck, guys. Sam H does note that Auburn wins, Bam Bam loses, solid night. That is the kind of night you like to stand behind, and you don't necessarily get these opportunities all that often because Alabama wins a lot of games, but not tonight. Gave up 110 on the road. That's a hell of a lot. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Again, we are, for those of you who want to follow our bourbon show, which is called The Bourbon Blend, it's on a different channel. You can check that out on the YouTube. We'll be doing it tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central. Usually runs like an hour, hour and a half, whatever we do, and just kind of hang out. And it's always just good vibes and chatty. Probably be talking some Auburn basketball in addition to some burbs. And then I will see those of you who are on for just the Brain Drain, which is cool too. I will definitely be seeing you Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. I know for our friends north of me, which would include D Lucky, AU 256, Real Deal if he's still here, Stu Pup's up that way. You never know where Kanuman could be. He could be in the Himalayas or he could be in Napoli. You never know. But for friends up north, I know it's going to get cold. If you're way up north in Kentucky or even further than that, I think you're going to be getting some serious snow. You guys be safe and be good and be happy and stay warm. My goodness. Please. It's going to be chilly down here, but I don't have to worry about snow. And I couldn't do that because I don't have what it takes. But anyway, appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you guys for the next one, whenever that might be. Until then, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. Let's make great decisions, guys and gals. Peace.